Thank you very much. Let's play ball.
For the 10th time in the 2022 season, welcome in to another edition of UNLV Rebels Baseball. Matt and Everett joining you from Earl E. Wilson Stadium here on a beautiful, albeit windy, Saturday afternoon for the second game of a three-game set between the Rebels and the visiting Cal Poly Mustangs. It was a 7-6 walk-off win in 10 innings for the Scarlet and Gray last night, thanks to a wild pitch thrown by Derek True. Just the second pitch he threw allowed the pinch runner Braden Murphy to score from third base as the Rebels scored 3 runs in the 10th after scoring 2 in the 9th. Back-to-back comeback bids were successful. It was Nick Rupp getting the win out of the bullpen for the Rebels, 3 2/3 innings coming in after Josh Ibarra. Rupp gave up 2 runs on 5 hits with 6 strikeouts included, getting his first decision either way in a win. Today, it'll be the right-hander Troy Balco making his third outing, second start of the 2022 campaign. Balco, the 6'3", 205-pound junior right-hander out of Peoria, Arizona, enters today 0-1 with a 9 flat earned run average, looking to bring it down against this Cal Poly team that entering today is 4-5. The loss last night, their first ever in 7 games against UNLV. The 20th year head coach Larry Lee with his son Brooks Lee at shortstop, a bona fide top 5 overall pick in the upcoming MLB first-year player draft. It'll be Ryan Stafford leading it off and playing in left field. Stafford was atop the lineup and catching yesterday, starting in left here in game 2 of 3 with Lee, the shortstop, batting second as he's done all year at .529 batting average for the number 2 ranked NCAA product this year. Tate Samuelson will bat third and play third. Samuelson was in the number 6 slot in the lineup yesterday, playing at the hot corner. Big-bodied first baseman Joe York hits in the cleanup role with Matt Lopez serving as a designated hitter for the 9th time in 10 games this year. Catcher Colin Villegas makes his 5th start and 9th appearance, batting 6th in the lineup with Nick Maricons, the second baseman, batting in the 7 hole. Reagan Doss, number 8 in the lineup, and on the card out in center field with Brent Borgonio. Out and right, rounding out the lineup for the Cal Poly Mustangs, rocking the black alternate tops with gray road pants and the bright gold accents atop the jersey. It'll be Sam Calleja, our home plate umpire this afternoon. His partner is Tom Chandler, be on the first base bag. Jacob Gustafson in the outfield. Ruben Candelaria rounding out the umpiring crew here on a Saturday. First pitch from Balco, right down the middle, called for a strike to the right-handed batting Ryan Stafford. Underway right on time at 1:05, 54 degrees at the time of first pitch. Wind blowing straight out and heavy, 22 miles an hour at the time of first pitch. Balco working exclusively out of the stretch against Stafford, who swings at the second pitch and chops it up the middle. Coming behind the bag is the shortstop. Horvat. Throw is up the line, but gloved at first by Austin Pfeiffer. Put an exclamation point in the scoreboard next to the 6-3 ground out, as it was Johnny Horvat making a great play, communicating with the Darian Williams up the middle, and the freshman shortstop grabbed it, gloved it, and threw it all in one motion in time to nail Stafford. Brings up Brooks Lee, the switch-hitting shortstop, who will do it from the left against the right-handed batting Balco. With that in mind, a 3-man shift to the right side of the infield. It's Diego Alarcon, the third baseman, standing beyond second base. Horvat in a normal spot all alone on the left. It's Austin Pfeiffer, the first baseman, deep and hugging the line, with Darian Williams at second today, shallow in right field. First pitch to Lee is swung on and missed. A rare swing and miss for the shortstop. 18 hits and 34 at-bats on the year, a .529 average with a home run and 14 RBIs. 7th multi-hit game of the year last night for Lee. He was 3 of 4, doubled, and was intentionally walked in the 9th. Here's the 0-1 from Balco, who looks in and deals as Lee checks the swing. They appeal down the third base side. No, he did not, says Ruben Candelaria, the crew chief who was behind home plate last night. Finished setting the defense. It's Eric Bajani doing the catching for the 9th time in the 10th game of the season, with the outfield left to right, Austin Krizik, Ryland Charles, and Joey Walls. Walls a major performer in the win last night. They're all stationed deep, especially Krizik in left. 1-1 pitch to Lee. Watched on a breaking ball down and inside. A 4-pitch mix for Balco, the right-hander sitting in the low 90s on the fastball. There was a curveball there, there was a slider and a changeup as well. Balco's making his 2nd start, 3rd appearance of the year. After the first out, 7 1/3 innings for the Arizona right-hander. Here's his 2-1 to Lee, who swings, fouls it straight back. 2 balls and 2 strikes as Lee put the ball in play every time in which he was not intentionally walked. Doubled in the first last night, grounded out to Hank Zeisler at first. That was in the 3rd inning, singled in the 5th and the 7th, drove in a run. That was the final run until the 10th inning. Count 2-2 as Balco takes the side. Rocks and fires. Lee swings and misses at strike 3. The rare strikeout for Brooks Lee. It's his first of the season. First strikeout in 35 at-bats for Brooks Lee is the 6th of the year for Balco. Great start to the game, going 2 up and 2 down, especially with Lee set down on strikes for the very first time on the season. Gaudy numbers for Lee, but Balco wins that battle here in the first. Brings up Tate Samuelson, the third baseman, due up from the right. Swings to the first pitch and pops it straight back out of play. Count 0-1. Balco's pitching in his 4th year with UNLV. Career ERA of 7.11 entering today, and the 2-6 record. Right on right matchup. Another foul ball, this time straight back off the mask of the home plate umpire, Sam Calleja. Balco's been back and forth between the pen and the rotation in his entirety, or in the entirety, I guess, of his Rebel career. Last time out was in a start against Hawaii on the 26th, game in which the Rebels would win 9-3 in San Diego. 0-2 pitch taken just outside, not your typical waste pitch on 0-2. He was trying to induce the swing and miss for Samuelson, who does not stretch the zone. Third baseman, 10 of his first 40, and even .250 batting average for the right-handed hitter. Balco from the right on the hill comes set on 1-2. He deals. It's popped straight up, shallow to center field. Heading back is the second baseman, Williams. Coming in and calling him off will be the center fielder, Rylan Charles, who makes a one-hand grab above the head. So far, so good for Troy Balco. 3 up and 3 down, including the strikeout of the top prospect, Brooks Lee. Brings us back with the bottom of the first. Charles to lead it off against Travis Weston and the Cal Poly Mustangs. When we return, it's the bottom of the first from Earl E. Wilson. Matt and Everett welcoming you back to Earl E. Wilson Stadium for the middle game of a 3-game set between Cal Poly and UNLV. Troy Balco needed 11 pitches, including 8 strikes, to breeze through a 1-2-3 top half of the first inning. That'll bring the Rebels up to bat, still tied at 0, with Rylan Charles set to lead things off. The center fielder squaring up against the left-hander Travis Weston. Without a decision on the year, but a 4.63 ERA for the left-hander. Weston stands 6'1", tips the scales at $1.90. The redshirt junior out of Moore Park, California, one of 3 Boise State transfers after the Broncos shut down their program following the 2020 season. It'll be Charles to lead things off, the center fielder in from the left side. Weston deals from the full windup as the running fastball in on the hands is a called strike. It's Austin Krizik on deck batting in the 2-hole, playing out in left with Diego Alarcon playing third, batting third. Stan Stolte's found a nice rhythm at the top of the lineup with those 3. As Charles fouls it back to the screen. Count quickly 0-2 to the leadoff hitter. The top batter in the lineup so far, entering today a .419 batting average. It'll be Cole and Volge serving as a designated hitter and batting in the cleanup spot, with Joey Walls, the right fielder, hitting 5th. Charles swings and hits one out of play beyond the left field side. Rounding out the lineup, Adarian Williams batting 6th, playing second. Eric Bajani doing the catching and batting 7th. He's found a nice spot in the 7-hole as well. It's Austin Pfeiffer at first, batting 8th, with Gianni Horvat, the freshman shortstop, rounding out the lineup for Stan Stolte. Charles thought about it, able to hold up on the check swing. Weston tried to spin the slider outside. Colin Villegas doing the catching this afternoon. Came in as a pinch hitter last night. Joe York, the first baseman, with Nick Maricons, the second baseman, shaded deep. Charles slaps one in front of his own dugout, almost some friendly fire as it hits off the netting in front. James Gamble out of the dugout to make the grab and the flip. Brooks Lee and Tate Samuelson, the shortstop and third baseman, making up the left side of the infield, with Stafford, Doss, and Borgonio, the outfield from left to right. 1-2 to Charles, called for strike 3. Coming in through the front door is Weston. His 10th strikeout of the year sets Charles down on strikes to lead off the home half of the first.
Number 47, Austin Krizik.
Brings up Austin Krizik here for his first plate appearance with nobody on ahead of him. Krizik hit a moonshot of a bomb last night. Solo home run in the 4th inning was his first of the year. It cleared the video board in left center. Just an absolute blast off the bat of the outfielder. So he'll take a pitch outside. Left-on-right matchup begins. 1 ball, no strikes. Krizik, a .263 hitter to go along with his 5 runs batted in on the year. Weston took a little bit off that one. Garners the swing and the miss from Krizik. 5'8", 185-pounder out of Centennial High School in the northwest part of Las Vegas. Big breaking curveball. Misses outside. Huge tumbler for Weston, who's making his 3rd start of the year. 12 innings even. He's allowed 6 runs, all earned on 17 hits after giving up 10 hits and a no decision in his first start of the year against Washington on the 19th. Trying to paint the corner, but just missing again is the left-hander. So the count goes 3 balls and a strike to Krizik. 10 of 38 on the year, 2 for 4 last night. He swings and gets a piece of this one. Pokes it out of play down the right field line to bring the count full. Rebels with 14 hits in the 7-6 extra inning win last night. Krizik, Charles, Walls, and Adarian Williams with 2 hits each. As Krizik pokes this one into shallow right center field, fading and dropping in front of the right fielder Borgonio. Krizik, with his first hit of the game, was the first base runner on for either side, with 1 out in the home half of the first inning.
The third baseman, number 6, Diego Alarcon.
1 on, 1 out for Diego Alarcon, the third baseman, hitting .282 with a pair of home runs to start the season. Preseason All Mountain West selection, Alarcon digs in tight to the plate from the right-handed side. First baseman York holding on, a short lead for Krizik. Weston out of the stretch for the first time delivers, misses high and away from Diego. Second baseman Nick Maricons shaded near the bag with a right-handed hitter in the box. With the shortstop Lee working away, guarding against a ground ball deep in the hole. Outfield playing Alarcon to pull as well. 1-0 pitch, fastball just below the knees, taken for a called ball 2. Diego was 1 of 4 with a walk last night. Doubled and scored in the 4th inning. Followed up the Krizik home run with a 2-bagger of his own to left center. Weston looks to first, deals to the dish on 2-0 as he misses up and away. Following the Krizik single, 3 straight balls have Alarcon way ahead, with Cole Andivolgi awaiting on deck. Andivolgi making his 4th start, 6th appearance of the year. 3-ball, no strike pitch is watched all the way, a 4-pitch walk as it's way high to Diego Alarcon. 5th base on balls issued by Weston on the year will put 2 Rebels on with 1 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Andivolgi looks to get the scoring started with the base hit.
The designated hitter, number 43, Cole Andivolgi.
The designated hitter, Andivolgi, a big body at 6 feet, 205 pounds. The Los Angeles native transferred from Golden West Community College. Weston comes set looking at second. First pitch to Andivolgi, swung on and missed. Andivolgi with an aggressive approach at the plate. Part of the reason he's getting the nod at the designated hitter spot this afternoon. A .273 batting average for the SoCal native. Does have a home run and 3 RBIs in his 11 at-bats. 0-1 pitch, spotted inside, taken for a called ball. These Rebel hitters working the count in the first inning. Took Balco 11 pitches and 3 batters to get through the first, and that has not been the case already for Weston as Andivolgi watches him come set on 1-1. Drifting changeup moving away from the batter, falls into the outside part of the strike zone over the knees, and the count goes a ball and 2 strikes to Andavolgi. Spelled Andavolgyi. Holds the bat next to the right ear flap as Weston comes in on 1-2. The lefty deals to the plate as Andavolgi gets a piece of it, just able to tip it back. The win last night was a fun one with, we'll say, an anticlimactic ending. It was the wild pitch from Derek True, who threw just 2 pitches to Austin Krizik. 3 runs on 3 hits, a walk, a hit batter, and a wild pitch, and a wild bottom of the 10th. Andavolgi able to hold up on a curveball breaking beneath the knees. Called for ball 2 to even up the count. Gianni Horvat, a big performer with 2 hits, including a triple. Of course, Austin Krizik with the home run. Good day for Joey Walls, who's been earning his way to some more playing time in right field, as he is today. That pitch way outside. It'll bring the count full. So following the Charles punch-out to begin the inning, Krizik, Alarcon, and Andavolgi have all worked 3-ball counts. Krizik and Andavolgi have worked a full count. So they're driving this pitch count way up for Weston in the first inning. Of course, this is the second game of 5 in 5 days for the Rebels, needing some efficient pitching of their own. Here's the 3-2 payoff. Andavolgi able to sting it straight back to the screen. So we'll get to try that one again. It's Krizik off second, Alarcon off first here in the home half of inning number 1. Rebels enter today 5-4. Lofty expectations for the regular season as they were picked to finish second in the Mountain West, behind rival Nevada. Let's try it again. Here comes another 3-2 from Weston. Andavolgi takes a called strike 3. Fastball on the outside froze him. Only 2 outs of the first inning have been looking strikeouts for Travis Weston.
The right fielder, number 9, Joey Walls.
We were just talking about Joey Walls. He's due up with 2 on and 2 down here in the first. Walls, the junior outfielder, 6', 195-pounder. No batting gloves and a closed-off stance from the right side. No hold at first. Second baseman Maricon's checking Austin Krizik off second base. First pitch up and away to Walls is called for ball 1. In the win last night, Walls led the 10th inning off with a single after driving in a run in the 4th on a base hit as well. Struck out 3 times otherwise. Wind blowing straight away to center and swiftly this afternoon as Walls takes a changeup moving away from him. Called for ball 2. So 4 of the 5 batters have gotten ahead of Weston here in the bottom of the first. Weston, the left-hander, coming in off of a start against Missouri State in which he took a no decision. 2-0 to Walls, up and away. 4th 3-ball count of the inning as it goes 3-0 to Joey Walls. The walks were an issue for Weston against Missouri State on the 27th. Walked 3 and allowed 7 hits, including a home run and 2 doubles. Here's the 3-0. Watching all the way, Walls takes a called strike on the outside third. It's been 2 no decisions for Weston, although he's gone at least 5 2/3 innings in all of them. Games that ended 4-3 and 8-5 against Washington and Missouri State were decided by the bullpens. Walls watches the 3-1 fastball right down Broadway, called for a strike, and the count goes full. It's the 3rd full count of the first inning. Rebels looking to drive in the game's first run, but at the very least, they've driven up the pitch count early for Weston. The left fielder Stafford is a couple of steps in front of the warning track, especially deep against the pull hitter Walls. The runners go. The 3-2 payoff pitch is hit on the ground, up the middle and through. Getting the wave from third is Austin Krizik. Throw from the center fielder Doss is cut off. An RBI single for Joey Walls puts the Rebels on top in the bottom of the first. Anything through the infield was likely to score Krizik anyway. He had the same thought as Kevin Higgins at third. He scores. Walls with his 2nd RBI of the series, his 5th of the year, and an early lead with the Rebels on top.
Check that. The second baseman at Darian Williams.
A 90-foot advancement for Alarcon on the 7th hit of the year for Joey Walls. Puts runners on first and second base for the second baseman, Darian Williams. 306 hitter. Coming into today, the 10th game in which he started all of them. Watches outside, Weston falling behind another Rebel batter. Coming into today, there were 5 Rebels that have started every game. Hank Zeisler was one of them. He's not in the lineup today, so that streak broken for him. Here comes a mound visit from the pitching coach, Jake Silverman. It was Ryland Charles, Darian Williams, Diego Alarcon, and Austin Krizik. The 4 Rebel batters who have started every game so far for UNLV. Eric Bajani's played in every game but hasn't started every game. Same deal with Gianni Horvat, although they're both in the starting lineup today. Darian Williams with a chance here in the home half of the first to extend the lead. He finished 2 for 4 last night, but reached thrice on a fielder's choice. So that'll be the first mound visit of 7. So a mid-at-bat mound visit. They're really trying to get Weston ahead of the batters, finding the strike zone. Wouldn't you know it, he comes inside, gets a called strike to Darian Williams. That's his pitch. His favorite one is that fastball elevated but inside. Open stance for the Las Vegas native, attended Rancho High School in Henderson in the southeast part of town. 1-1 pitch, a cap shot off the end of the bat right to the second baseman, Maricons, who gloves it around the runner, turns and fires to first base in time as one second baseman grounds out to the other. But the Rebels on the board, a run on 2 hits with Joey Walls driving in Austin Krizik from second. After 1 inning of play, UNLV leads Cal Poly 1-0.
The first baseman, number 55, Joe York.
Troy Balco pitching with the lead as he heads out for his second inning of work. Austin Krizik scoring on the Joey Walls RBI single. Puts the Rebels on top early. It'll be Joe York followed by Matt Lopez and Colin Villegas. Middle third of the Cal Poly lineup after Balco was able to set the top 3 hitters down in order. First pitch to the left-handed batting first baseman Joe York is over the outside part of home plate, called for strike 1. York, a .276 hitter, no home runs, and 5 RBIs. Was 1 for 5 in the loss last night. Singled in the 6th inning. That was it. Balco exclusively out of the stretch. This one swung on, hit into the gap in left center. That'll drop as the left fielder Krizik into the gap to go pick it up, limiting York to his 2nd single of the series and his 9th hit of the year. A 270-pound first baseman with 8 singles and a single-double on the year.
Number 27, Matt Lopez.
That'll put the tying run on base in the slow-footed York with Lopez, the DH, standing in. Last night was the first game that Matt Lopez did not start. He did play in the game. Came in as a DH and then entered into left field. Ton of substitutions late for the Mustangs. Balco pitching backwards here, starts him off with a big breaking curveball that comes in through the inside for a called strike. Lopez hitting .219 on the year with 1 home run, 5 RBIs to go along with a pair of doubles. Brooks Lee leads the club with 6, including 1 last night. A 1 pitch, grounded to third. Taking a step back is Alarcon. He feeds to second base. Williams does not make the transfer cleanly with York sliding in way shy. So Lopez will replace York at first on a fielder's choice. Williams doing the smart thing there and just putting it in the back pocket. No shot to turn the double play with Lopez speeding down the line at first. So 1 out and Lopez now on first instead of York. With Colin Villegas, the backstop, due in from the right.
Villegas.
Not your typical catcher frame. Villegas just 5'10", $190, but does hit well. .353 batter through 17 at bats. Rest of the bat on the right shoulder as Balco spins him a curveball in for a called strike. Back-to-back batters started off with the breaking pitch, moving inside. Villegas making his 5th start and his 9th appearance in 10 games so far for the Mustangs. A .353 average supplemented by a home run and 3 runs batted in. 0-1 pitch, hit in the air to right center field. Charging it is the center fielder Charles. He'll call off the right fielder Walls to make the catch. Meanwhile, no tag from Lopez at first. He was about halfway down the line, so he heads back to the bag with now 2 outs on the board. Nick Maricons, the second baseman, stands in.
The second baseman, number 8, Nick Maricons.
Maricons making his 7th outing, 4th start of the year. Limited opportunities, but he's 3 for 9. Going back and forth with Tyson Corio for the starting second base job. Also Brett Borgonio involved as well. Borgonio playing in right as Maricons takes a fastball call for a strike. Borgonio, by the way, started the game yesterday at second, played left, played center, came in as the 5th infielder on the rover in the bottom of the 10th inning, and now just for fun they're having him out in right. He does play all over the diamond for Cal Poly. 0-1 pitch, hit on the ground softly. It's off the foot of the batter, but no ruling by the home plate umpire. Instead, it was every umpire except our home plate umpire, Sam Calleja, calling out the foul ball. And typically, it's the other way around, but hey, they are a team for a reason. So that'll go as a painful strike to Maricons, who does have the front foot and leg guarded, but even with the elbow guard, those ankle guards, if you take a fastball or a foul ball straight down, it still hurts. It just takes away some of the initial shock. He's going to have a nice bruise there tomorrow. He's behind 0-2 as Balco comes set. The pitch just tapped back to the screen. Hands out, backside out, desperation hack from Maricons keeps him alive, with Reagan Doss, the center fielder, awaiting on deck. Outfield's deep and playing him to go the other way with Krizik way off the line and left. Charles shaded ever so slightly towards right center field. Here comes another 0-2 from Troy Balco. Swung on, hit high out of play down the right field side. Nice crowd in attendance here on a Saturday afternoon. Hoping to get a good turnout tomorrow for the series finale. 3rd game of 3 against Cal Poly. Begins at 12:05 here on the West Coast. Pfeiffer holding on at first, a big gap through the right side of the infield, with Williams now shading that way, the second baseman. Here comes another 0-2 after a pair of foul balls. This one's hit foul, not quite out of play, but takes a hop and into a section of waiting youth baseball players. They all want the foul ball. It's a hot commodity here at the NCAA level. So 3rd straight pitch fouled off by Maricons on 0-2. Balco looking to win the battle with 2 outs, and the Rebels leading by 1. Here's the pitch out of the stretch. Taken down low, the catcher Bajani down to the knees to keep it in front. Bajani was a semifinalist for the Buster Posey Award last year, given to the best catcher in the country. Enters this year rated as a top 50 catcher in the country by Division I Baseball. Bajani entered number 49 to start the season about a month ago. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Balco delivers. This pitch sliced the other way, fading down the right field line as Walls gives it an effort, but the right fielder not going to be able to track it down. The wind is definitely blowing straight out, but it is turning. It was blowing more to left center field when the game started. Now, kind of turning and going back to right center. It's back and forth. It is straight out. There will be a jet stream here on a Saturday afternoon. Talked with Kevin Higgins yesterday about the wind, although it was not nearly as much as it is today. He said that they cannot get into the trap of swinging up. Swinging up here is Marin Collins, driving it shallow to left, charging is Krizik. Rebel left fielder on the move, able to make the grab. Not quite a 1-2-3 inning like the first for Troy Balco, but nobody passing first on a single and a fielder's choice. Overall, no runs on a hit. 1 man left on. Back with the bottom of the second is Eric Bajani, and the bottom third of the Rebel lineup gets us going here from Earl E. Wilson. Eric Bajani set to lead it off in the bottom of the second. First pitch swinging. Drives one high in the air, deep to center. Back is Doss. Center fielder turns around. He'll watch it sneak out of here. Eric Bajani wasting no time, starting the second inning off with his 3rd home run of the season. 2-0 lead for the Rebels. Bajani bombs away in the second inning.
3rd home run of the year for catcher Eric Bajani.
Was just talking about the weather in the last half inning and the wind blowing to straightaway center field. That one a wall scraper, barely clearing the 400-foot marker in center. They all count the same on the scoreboard. It's a 2-0 lead for the Rebels on the 3rd bomb and the 11th RBI for Eric Bajani. Brings in Austin Pfeiffer, who's got home run power of his own. He swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Heading back is the right fielder, Borgonio. At the track, still on the move, able to catch it on a full sprint as he loses the lid. Pfeiffer with plenty of power just kind of popped it up into the jet stream as Borgonio had to cover plenty of ground on a ball still moving when he caught it. So 2 pitches, a home run and a deep fly out to the fence the opposite way off the bat of Pfeiffer. An exciting start to the second inning. We'll bring up Gianni Horvat for the first time. Rebel freshman shortstop takes a first pitch, called for a strike on the left side. Weston, the southpaw, dealing to the right-handed hitting Horvat, making his 8th start and 10th overall appearance. Checks the swing on a fastball, clipping the outside of the home plate. Called for strike 2. Multi-hit game for Horvat last night, including a triple in the 3rd, his 2nd of the season. 0-2 pitch, cut on and missed. Horvat set down swinging. It's the 3rd strikeout for Weston and the 2nd out of the second inning. Weston now with 12 strikeouts and just over 12 innings of work on the year. And with that, we've gone through the lineup once.
Charles.
Wrapping it back around to the top is Rylan Charles, who struck out looking to begin the Rebels' offensive afternoon at the plate. 3rd baseman Samuelson in front of the bag just in case, as Charles takes a curveball that's high but in the zone, called for strike 1. First time through the lineup for the Rebels, 3 hits and a walk, including the Bajani solo home run to lead off the inning. Nice arm side run on the fastball that started outside to the left-handed hitting Charles and came over the outside of the plate. Weston working quickly, takes a deep breath before the 0-2. Drops the glove, deals out of the full wind. Charles takes a slider outside. Now one, don't think was ever quite in the zone. The catcher Villegas had to shimmy to the left to keep it in front. Third baseman Samuelson backs up with 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch rolled into his own dugout, sending scarlet hoodies flying everywhere. Rebels in the primary home whites today, with scarlet letters and a black stripe down the side of the pants. 1-2 pitch. Charles checks the swing. They appeal down the third base side. Able to hold up, it says Ruben Candelaria, the third base umpire. Deuces wild in the second. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs to Charles with a 2-0 lead for the Rebels. Weston takes the side from Villegas. 2-2 offering, swung on, fouled back to the screen. It went off the inside of the right leg of the catcher Villegas. And a hand delivery from Sam Kaye behind the plate. It's an unspoken agreement between catchers and umpires on a foul ball straight back. Oftentimes you'll see whomever doesn't get hit with the foul ball take plenty of time, work their way around home plate. You saw it there, Kaye sprinting out to the mound, hand delivering a ball to the pitcher, then wiping off home plate. He'll give Villegas as much time as he needs to reset. He does so here as Charles pops this pitch high, fouled on the first base side. First baseman York on the dirt, reaching behind him, able to spin around and make the catch. 3 straight putouts, including the pop out from Rylan Charles, following the Eric Bajani leadoff home run in the second. Through 2 innings of play, it's the Rebels leading Cal Poly 2-0 with Reagan Doss, the number 8 batter, coming up to the dish when we return with the Rebels on top from Earl E. Wilson Stadium.
Number 29.
Intermountain Healthcare, here to be a part of your Las Vegas life, and more importantly, here to help you live an even healthier one. Intermountain Healthcare, official healthcare partner of UNLV Athletics. 2-0 lead for UNLV as we enter the top half of the third inning. Matt Never joining you on a Saturday afternoon. It's Reagan Doss, the center fielder, batting for the first time against Troy Balco. Right-hander out of Arizona gets a first pitch ground ball, pulled foul. He pushed it down the first base side as Doss missed extra bases by about a foot. It snuck past the glove of Pfeiffer, but ruled foul by Tom Chandler, the first base umpire. Eric Bajani with the first pitch leadoff home run in the second inning, followed by 3 immediate putouts, but the damage done with the Rebels leading 2-0 on the strength of 3 hits. Balco's allowed just 1 single so far. Doss with a .250 average, behind 0-1. Balco deals, gets him to swing and miss on a pitch moving down and away from him. Quickly 0-2. Balco with 1 strikeout so far. It was strikeout number 1 on the year for Brooks Lee. His first K came in his 35th at bat. Doss followed by Brett Borgonio as the bottom 2 hitters of the lineup for Larry Lee, the Cal Poly Mustangs manager in his 20th year. 0-2 pitch, tap straight back. Able to get a piece of it there was Doss. He batted in the 8-hole last night. Was 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, a single, and a sacrifice fly that got the scoring started in the second inning. 7-6 walk-off win in extras for the Rebels. Here's the 0-2 for Balco. Swung on and missed. Bajani able to glove it. It's the second strikeout for Balco of the day, his 7th of the year. Is the leadoff batter retired here in the top half of the third inning. Brings up Brett Borgonio, the right fielder who's played everywhere here already in the series.
Brett Borgonio.
Mentioned it during the last half inning, but Borgonio started yesterday at second, played left, moved to center, came in as the fifth infielder at the end. Now starting today's game in right. Balco gets ahead while spitting a curveball in. Borgonio falls behind 0-1. A .292 hitter on the year is the right fielder. Making his 8th start of the campaign. He swings and drives one well to straightaway center. Sprinting back is Ryland Charles. He'll turn around and watch it bat off the batter's eye. Borgonio goes yard for the first time this year, and Cal Poly's cut it to a 1-run lead, with Balco still on top 2-1. A wind-aided line drive that cleared the fence in a hurry. 4th run batted in for Borgonio gets the scoring started.
Left fielder, Ryan.
First home run allowed by Balco on the season. Brings up Ryan Stafford, who grounded out right back up the middle to get the contest started. It was an excellent play by the shortstop Horvat. Balco spins a slider that stays inside in a right-on-right matchup, called for ball 1. Stafford with a leadoff home run in the 3rd inning last night. They would not score for another 4 frames as the Rebels held them off the board in the middle 3rd of the game. Ground ball yanked between the third base bag, and Diego Alarcon sneaks through. Rounding first and zooming to second is Stafford. Throw from Krizik is straight to third base, as it's the 2nd straight extra base hit allowed by Balco here in the 3rd. Borgonio with a home run with 1 down. Stafford follows it up with his 6th double of the year. Now to bring up the switch-hitting Brooks Lee, who works his way around to the left side against the right-handed pitching Balco. Set him down on strikes in the 1st inning, and they're not going to waste any time. Intentionally walking Lee for the 2nd time on the series and the 7th time on the year. He is a batter that you do not want to mess around with. A bona fide top 5 pick in this year's upcoming first-year player draft.
Tate Samuelson.
So it's the 11th walk of the year. More than half of them have been intentional to Brooks Lee. He's at first. Stafford on second with the double play active anywhere around the infield. It's Tate Samuelson in from the right side. Third baseman watches a bouncing ball blocked by Eric Bajani. Balco lasted a season-high 5 innings in a no decision against Hawaii on the 26th. Gave up 3 runs, 2 earned on 5 hits while not walking anybody and striking out 3. 1-0 to Samuelson. Nice 12-6 curveball, breaking through the top of the zone for strike 1. Balco, a strike zone filler, does not get a ton of Ks, just 7 on the year, including 2 today. Instead works on a lot of ground balls. Here's his 1-1 out of the stretch. It's a ground ball pulled down the third base side. Head coach Larry Lee takes 1 step up to get out of the way as the count now moves 1-2 to his third baseman, Samuelson. Last year was the best year out of 4 so far for Troy Balco. Finished with a 1-0 record, 3.38 ERA, tossed 21 1/3 innings over 11 relief appearances. Here's the 1-2. Samuelson, a check swing, ground ball third base side. Gloved by Alarcon, the feed to Williams at second. His throw to first is in time. Leadoff home run followed by a double, a walk, and the 5-4-3 double play pays off with the intentional walk of Brooks Lee. Cal Poly on the board, but still trailing 2-3-4 due up for the Rebels in the bottom of the 3rd inning, leading Cal Poly still by a 2-1 score. Austin Krizik batting for the second time as we're back with the top of the third inning. Rebels on top 2-1. First pitch from the left-hander Travis Weston is in for a called strike to Austin Krizik. Brett Borgonio with the solo home run to lead off the top half of the third inning. Gets the Mustangs on the board, still trailing 2-1. Rebels with an Eric Bajani home run in the second after a Joey Walls RBI single in the first. Krizik was the one that scored. He's batting and will call time. Quickly step out with Weston, the pitcher, having to step off the mound as well. Count 0-1 as Krizik watches another breaking ball, another called strike. Back-to-back with the spinning pitches over the outside from Weston. First time through the order, allowed 4 different runners to reach on 3 hits, including Krizik's single with an out. He swings here and pops one high, foul and out of play down the right field side. Count a ball and 2 strikes to Krizik, who's been going back and forth between the number 2 and the number 3 spot. Stan Stolte and Kevin Higgins flip-flopping Krizik and Alarcon in the 2 and 3 holes. I think they found a nice rhythm here, which is basically where they were all last year. Krizik 2, Alarcon 3. Austin pushes this one through the right side of the infield for his second seeing eye single of the game. Just took it where it was pitched, didn't try to do too much, kept the hands inside. He's so strong with his bat-to-ball skills, guiding that one between the first baseman York and the second baseman Marincons. Second hit of the day is the 12th of the year for Krizik, with the batting average creeping ever closer to 300. Brings up Diego Alarcon. He walked back in the first inning. Took 4 straight balls from Weston, who works out of the stretch here in the third. Misses outside, make it 5 straight balls that Diego Alarcon has seen through a plate appearance and a pitch here in number 2. Diego, one of 3 preseason All-Mountain West selections for Stan Stolte and company. 1-0 pitch to Diego is watched over the letters, over the plate as well for a called strike. Alarcon, Bajani, and Williams, the 3 preseason All-Mountain West selections. Second in the conference, only to rival Nevada, who was the only team picked to finish ahead of them in the preseason standings. 1-1 to Alarcon as a cap shot straight back, just able to get a piece of it as the foul ball moves it to a ball and 2 strikes. Alarcon was effective, reached base in 3 of his 5 plate appearances last night. Aside from his 8th inning walk and the win, he put a ball in play in every at-bat. Grounded out to third and second, as well as doubling, reaching on a fielder's choice. Weston's 1-2 pitch is a fading changeup outside. Good watch by Alarcon as the count goes 2-2. He was a real firm part of that lineup last year. Basically batted third, played third most games. He's reigned in the defense this year. He made 11 errors last season. He's made just 2 this year so far. Swings and misses at strike 3 as Weston blows a fastball by him. It's his 4th strikeout of the game. He's got 2 swinging and 2 looking, and it's the first out of the third, a big one with the force play active up the middle. That'll bring up Cole Andavolgi with 1 out and 1 on. Andavolgi making his 4th start of the year. Struck out looking back in the first. Andavolgi, the sophomore out of LA. Big body in from the right side. Swings to the first pitch and lines it foul over his own dugout on the first base side. Andavolgi out of North Torrance High School in California. Was a .317 hitter in his 4 years of varsity high school baseball. SoCal native up against another SoCal native, the Moore Park native in Weston, misses outside. As the count goes even, a ball, a strike, and an out here in the third inning. This is the first appearance in a start for Andavolgi since the 25th against San Diego. Checks the swing on a pitch that's called for a strike. Nicely spotted slider over the outside. Moves it to 1-2 against Andavolgi. He was 1 of 4 in the win against San Diego. Did strike out 3 times. He singled. Had a good couple of appearances against Michigan State to open the year. Swings and misses at another fastball. Weston getting back-to-back swinging strikeouts on nearly the same pitch as Alarcon and Andavolgi extending the strike zone on a fastball outside. They can't connect, And that'll bring Joey Walls up, trying to extend the frame. Walls singled and brought in a run in the first inning, scoring Krizik from second base. Second RBI of the series was his 5th of the year. Weston has the curveball come flying out of the hand, missed way up and way out to the right-handed batting Walls. The numbers for Walls, his 3 years at College of Southern Nevada, absolutely gaudy. Takes a pitch moving inside, called for a strike. Walls tore the cover off the ball in 3 years with the Coyotes. No other way to put it. Career .356 average in 91 games, including 9 home runs and 76 run batted in. Watches a changeup, called for a strike, barely clipping the outside. Nicely spotted pitch from Weston. Moves it to 1-2 against Walls, batting 5th and playing in right field today. His senior year in 2021, if you will, was the best for Joey Walls. Hit .402 with 8 of his 9 career home runs. Swings and misses at a pitch down and in. 3 straight swinging strikeouts follow up the Austin Krizik leadoff single, and the Rebels set down in 4 batters in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Into the middle innings we go. It's the middle third of the lineup to get it going for Cal Poly, with UNLV leading 2-1. This is UNLV Baseball.
Joe York.
UNLV Baseball is back. No matter where you're watching this season, be sure to buy crisp cold Dos Equis and yell, "Go Rebels." Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plain, New York. 2-1 Rebels on top, set down in 4 batters in the home half of the 3rd inning. So far, so good for Troy Balco. A run on a solo homer in the 3rd, one of 3 hits that the right-hander has spread out through 3 innings of work. It's Joe York leading off the 4th inning. He singled to start the 2nd. Begins his 2nd at bat, leading off an inning with a called ball outside as he moves ahead 1-0. Following the York single in the 2nd, it was a Matt Lopez fielder's choice, followed by 2 pop-outs and a quick and easy frame for Balco. As York takes down, moves ahead 2 balls, no strikes. It's been a 3-batter first, a 4-batter second, and a 5-batter third that ended in an around-the-horn 5-4-3 twin killing off the bat of Tate Samuelson. Watching all the way on 2-0. He'll move ahead 3 balls, no strikes, with Balco missing low. After Austin Krizik led off the home half of the 3rd with a bloop single through the right side, Alarcon, Andavolgi, and Walls all struck out swinging in order. Good comeback effort from Travis Weston, who's now recorded 6 strikeouts on the afternoon. Balco's 3-0, inside but called for strike 1, with York watching all the way. York, one of 3 Boise State Broncos on the roster. Boise State shutting down their baseball program following the 2020 season after they brought it back, a 3-year project. As York takes a called ball 4, 5-pitch walk puts him on base for the 2nd time. It's York, Weston,
Designated hitter,
and Reagan Doss, the 3 former Boise State Broncos. They're all in the lineup today for Larry Lee and the Cal Poly Mustangs. It's Matt Lopez standing in 0 for 1 with the fielder's choice. Got a ground ball to Alarcon at third. It was Williams at second, unable to turn the double play. Didn't transfer it quite cleanly. First pitch on a right-on-right matchup. Nicely spotted slider moving away from the right-handed batting Lopez, in for a call strike. But the Boise State scenario was interesting because they had been in the middle of a 3-year plan that really started in 2018 when they announced they were bringing the program back. They played just 14 games and then shut it down again due to the COVID pandemic. Pop fly, shallow right field, charging his walls as he's unable to make the catch. Did fake the runner out, York, but nobody's standing on second base. So it'll be a little bloop single for Matt Lopez, second time he's reached today, with York advancing from first to second.
Colin Villegas.
2 on and nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning for Colin Villegas, the Mustang catcher who popped out to center field in his only other at-bat. But with the Boise State shutdown, they were recruiting a good amount of big-name guys in the Mountain West, and you see a ton of Boise State transfers nowadays. Some of the top programs. Bijani able to keep that one in front as Balco bounces the first pitch to Villegas. The one thing I was upset about was they had the blue turf on the baseball field as well. The Smurf turf, probably what most people associate Boise State with on their football stadium. They had the blue turf on the baseball field as well. It was a unique look, and the orange of the dirt went well with it and the school. Balco misses inside. 2 balls, no strikes to Colin Villegas. And there are rumblings. We heard that Boise State is now considering bringing the baseball program back now that the dust has settled, so to speak, after the COVID-19 shutdown in 2020. 2-0 fastball spotted down the heart of the dish from Balco, who's coming back after giving up his first run on a homer, followed by a double in the 3rd. Balco entered the inning with 39 pitches thrown. Weston needed 41 to get through 3 innings of work. Here's the 2-1 from Balco. Outside as Bijani stabs it to the right. 3 balls and a strike now the count. A couple of bodies moving towards the right field bullpen. In his 2 prior outings, Balco has thrown 43 pitches out of the bullpen in 2 innings and 62 in a start over 5. He's in the mid-40s here as he deals on 3-1. This one hit off the hands in the air to shallow left field. Drifting back is Alarcon. Infield fly rule called at the last second by the 3rd base umpire. So whether or not Diego caught that ball was inconsequential as Villegas pops out into the infield fly with runners on first and second, or the bases loaded, less than 2 outs. Any ball that is deemed a routine play for an infielder garners the infield fly rule call, as it was ruled correctly there. It does not have to be in the infield, just a routine play for an infielder.
Second baseman.
That puts a big-time first down on the board
Americans.
with the double play active anywhere around the infield. Balco trying to induce a ground ball off the bat of the second baseman, Nick Marincons, who popped out to the left in his only other plate appearance, ended the 4-batter second. Rebels still on top, 2-1. Balco hopes to keep it that way through the 4th. He'll miss outside slider that Marincons did not oblige on. The San Jose native Marincons stands 5'10". The sophomore tips the scales at $170. Ever so slightly open stance from the right side. This right-hander Balco deals on 1-0, rides one over the inside part of the plate for a called strike. In his first year with the program, 2019 for Balco featured a 1-3 record, 9 outings including 8 starts. Struck out 23 over just 33 innings of work. Marincons checks the swing on a slider that misses outside. Both sides with 4 hits. The Rebels have 1 more run. It was a tight one back and forth last night. Featured a pair of late comebacks for the Rebels. Balco looks to second, turns his attention to home plate. 2-1 breaking ball misses down, maybe a bit off the outside part of the plate as well. Marincons, the number 7 batter, ahead of Balco, 3 balls to a strike. Mentioned it earlier, but last year was the most successful for Balco. It was also his first year exclusively pitching out of the pen. 3-1 fastball inside, called for ball 4. Marin Cons walks to load the bases. York to third, Lopez to second. Here comes Reagan Doss with one down. It's going to be Tyson Corio pinch hitting. Corio pinch hitting. Tyson Corio, who started last night, comes in for Doss. Corio, number 1, pinch hitting. So Doss finishes 0 for 1 with his strikeout. I'll bring up Corio, the switch hitting junior out of Concord, California. So with a tying run on third, go-ahead run in scoring position off second, Larry Lee's going to go with the pinch hitter to get the right-on-left matchup.
Hitting for Doss.
As Balco misses just outside of the first pitch. Corio was 1 of 3 last night, singled and scored the game's first run in the second inning. Grounded out to second to end the third and struck out swinging against Ibarra in the 6th. Pops this one up high, out of play to the left field side. Count goes even at 1-1. So Corio in for Doss, and we'll see if this starts the rotating outfield cast of characters like we saw last night. We saw 5 different outfielders at some point during the game for Cal Poly in a 7-6 walk-off win for UNLV yesterday. Corio takes the changeup that misses outside. Had 2 balls to a strike. This has been the most laborious inning for Balco, if you will, falling behind every batter at one point or another in the AB. He's not a huge strikeout pitcher, but would like to get ahead of more batters with the first pitch strike. 2-1 to Corio is ripped, but he pulled it, or yanked it foul out of play, rather. Corio in a pinch hit at bat, has it even at 2-2. York off third, he walked to reach, moved up 90 feet on the Lopez single. Colin Villegas popped out to third, and Nick Marincones walked. That's how the Mustangs have loaded the bases here in the top of the 4th inning in a 2-1 game. Here's the 2-2 from Balco. Corio just able to get a piece of it, and hits it straight back in the air. Borgonio awaits on deck. Wind still blowing straight out. The outfield playing Corio to go the opposite way, namely Ryland Charles in center, just in front of the 400-foot marker in left center field. We'll try it again. Here comes another 2-2. Just down as Corio watched that one all the way. He saw it out of the hands. Balco thought he had strike 3, as did Eric Bajani. So the count goes full at 3-2. With just 1 out, the runners will be firmly planted at their stations, with York about a step off the bag at third. Here's the payoff offering. Swung on, knocked straight back again by Corio as the pinch hitter has worked along at bat, if nothing else, here in the 4th inning. Corio was the designated hitter who started in the number 5 hole last night. He's played sparingly throughout the years. The Mustangs have a nice rotation of second basemen. Let's try it again, another 3-2. Corio swings and misses at strike 3. It's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Balco, and that's the biggest one yet. With the bases still loaded, it puts the 2nd out on the board. Corio does what Doss did earlier and strikes out swinging.
Right fielder, Brett Borgonio.
So the pinch hit appearance does not come to pass. Corio set down on strikes for the 2nd out. Brings up Brett Borgonio, who went yard to straightaway center field back in the 3rd. Still the only offense for Cal Poly. Batting with the bases loaded and 2 down. He swings to the first pitch and knocks it off the helmet of Eric Bajani. That one skipped off the very top of the netting and into the seats. Count 0-1 to Borgonio. 5'10" graduate student, transfer from Louisiana. Former Ragin' Cajun behind 0-1. Quick throw to first base on the back pick, but the runner Marincon saw it early with Pfeiffer creeping in behind him. It's one of the few advantages of pitching exclusively out of the stretch like Troy Balco does. Allows you, where other pitchers may be out of the full windup with the sacks full, Balco able to pick off if he wants. You don't see it often, especially to first with the bases loaded. 0-1 pitch, nicely spun in for a called strike. Balco came in through the front door over the inner half and ahead 0-2, trying to strand a trio of runners on base in a one-run ball game. Takes the sign from Bajani, who sets up outside. Balco set, drops the glove to the belt. Here's the 0-2. Just inside. Called for ball one, although it was a great miss. Not much Borgoño can do with that pitch. Diego Alarcon sure thought it was strike three. He was starting to move towards the first base home side dugout. But alas, the count just 1 ball, 2 strikes to Borgoño. Waves the bat in front of the chest as Balco comes set. Right-hander's pitch. Down in the dirt, Bajani smothering it in front of home plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top half of the 4th inning. It'll be a Darian Williams to lead it off in the bottom of the inning once we get there for the Rebels. Balco's 2-2. Swung on, hit in the air to shallow left. Heading in and now towards the line is Austin Krizik. Reaches up with 2 hands as the left fielder makes the grab. Way to get out of damage for Troy Balco. 2 walks and a single load the bases. Nobody advances further. 3 men stranded on as the Rebels come up in the bottom of the 4th, looking to expand on their 2-1 lead. Darian Williams leads us off in the bottom of the 4th inning. Troy Balco able to get out of a serious jam with his side up 1 and the bases loaded. Gets a strikeout of Tyson Corio, the pinch hitter, and gets Brett Borgoño to pop out to left to end it and strand 3 runners on. 5 total runners left on base by Cal Poly through 4 innings. Darian Williams falls behind 0-1, takes a pitch down and away from the lefty Travis Weston. Williams, the second baseman, grounded out to second to end the 1st. He starts the 4th with a 1-1 count. So swing and hit one on the ground towards the shortstop Lee. Picks it up on the second hop. Fires it casually across the diamond in time. Williams now 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. Before Eric Bajani comes to bat, a pair of defensive moves and substitutions to keep you aware of for Cal Poly. Tyson Corio pinch hit for Reagan Doss. It'll be Matthias Haas in that spot in the lineup. He's in right field. Brett Borgoño slides from right to center, continuing his carousel around the field. First pitch swinging is Eric Bajani. Can't catch up on the one outside away from him. So the count goes 0-1. Bajani has been the difference so far. A solo home run in the 2nd gave the Rebels their 2nd offensive tally. So take outside to even the count here. So again, it's Haas in the game in right field. He'll bat in the 8-hole with Brett Borgoño sliding from right to center. 1-1 pitch misses inside to Bajani. So just to keep it updated on Borgoño, he started the game at second last night, played left and center, and then moved in as the 5th infielder, the Rover. He's played right and center here today. So he's played multiple positions already in both games of the set. Bajani takes way out ahead big time. 3 balls and a strike with Austin Pfeiffer awaiting on deck. And there is a right-hander getting loose in the bullpen for UNLV. Nobody behind Weston, as the left-hander will walk Eric Bajani on 5 pitches. Eric remains perfect, 1 for 1.
First baseman, Austin Piper.
It's Noah Beal getting loose beyond the right field side for UNLV. See if he comes in the 5th. So far, so good for Balco, although he has labored in the 3rd and the 4th. Austin Pfeiffer in from the right side. First baseman checks a swing on a slider that stays away. Pfeiffer popped out to right field very deep as he almost followed Bajani up going back-to-back. Rebels have done that once this year. It was against Utah on Tuesday. It was Zeisler and Alarcon, the guilty parties. An swing on a pitch down in the dirt. Pfeiffer rung up as the count goes even to 1-1. Big-bodied first baseman Pfeiffer in from the right side. 6'4", 200 pounds out of Arborview here in Las Vegas as he swings and can't connect to move the count to a ball and 2 strikes. Pfeiffer split time with Jack Thomas Wald at first base last year. Wald, drafted by the Mets, has been getting ready for the minor league season in minor league camp in St. Lucie, Florida. Bouncing ball blocked by Villegas. Very nearly sent Bajani scrambling to second, but he's able to hold up. Plenty of action going on between Mountain West foes today with one postponement in Colorado Springs. Nevada and Air Force postponed due to weather at the Academy. 2-2 to Pfeiffer, swung on and missed. It's the 7th strikeout of the game for Travis Weston, and the 2nd out of the 4th inning comes on the Pfeiffer K.
Johnny Horvath.
2 outs, runner on first after the 1-out walk. Gianni Horvat works his way around to the right-handed batter's box. UNLV still on top, but by the slimmest of margins, with the wind now taking a turn and blowing almost straight towards right field. Big aggressive first pitch swing and a foul ball straight back from Horvat. Shortstop, a premium position. I don't think you could have any different stories in terms of the shortstops for Cal Poly and UNLV. You got Gianni Horvat, who's having a nice, true freshman year, but not as highly heralded as Brooks Lee, who entered a top draft prospect and will leave college after playing for his dad for 4 years as a bona fide number 3 or 4 overall pick upcoming. As Horvat knocks one straight back to move the count 0-2. Gianni's average 267 coming into the day. Brooks Lee's average 529 coming into the day. Brooks Lee made a game-saving defensive play in the 9th inning last night, retiring Horvat at home on a force out with the bases loaded. That changeup moves away from him. 0-2 waste pitch called outside. It was a bouncing ball off the bat of Diego Alarcon with the infield in, I should say. Lee made a grab on an in-between hop, turned 360 and fired to the plate as Horvat swings and misses at strike 3. 1-out walk, stranded on base, but UNLV still leading by a 2-1 score as we get into the top of the 5th inning. The top of the lineup batting for Cal Poly. This is UNLV Baseball. 6'4" sophomore right-hander Noah Beal takes over as we're back with the top of the 5th inning. Beal in behind Troy Balco as the right-hander out of Clovis, California, squares off against the top of the Cal Poly lineup. Deals outside to the right-handed hitting Ryan Stafford to get us underway. Balco, 4 innings, gave up 1 run earned on 4 hits. Walked 3, struck out 3 on 63 pitches. As Stafford lines one past the diving Gianni Horvat as it's into left center field for a base hit to get it going against Noah Beal. Horvat gave as good an effort as possible, but couldn't reach as the leadoff batter on against Beal here in the 5th inning. 2nd hit for Stafford of the game. And a challenge right away for Beal with Brooks Lee. Switch hitting shortstop moving into the left-handed batter's box. So again for Balco, 1 run over 4 innings, walked 3 and gave up 4 hits while striking out 3 batters. 63 pitches, 44 strikes for Balco, who will leave with a no decision. Didn't pitch long enough to qualify for a win. So Beal into his 3rd game of the year, his 2nd appearance out of the bullpen. First pitch to Lee is high and away, called for a ball. 1-0 record and a 3.24 ERA for Noah Beal thus far on the year in 8 1/3 innings. So allowed 3 runs all earned. That single for Stafford, just the 6th hit he's given up. 1-0 pitch and on the ground to the right side. Sliding is a Darian Williams. His only play is going to be to first as that one was slow and bouncing. Stafford advances 90 feet as Brooks Lee has been held in check today after giving up 3 hits against him yesterday. His pitching staff bearing down against the shortstop. Moves the runner up 90 feet, so to speak. As the 4-3 ground out advances Stafford. So Stafford to second on the Lee ground out brings up Tate Samuelson with 1 down. Beal gets a check swing. They appealed on the first base side. No, we did not, says Tom Chandler, our first base umpire. As mentioned, Beal making his 3rd outing of the year. Pitched back-to-back appearances out of the bullpen. 4 scoreless innings and a win against Hawaii. As the batter pops this one up high and deep down the right field side. Walls in fair ground, makes the catch at the hip. Tagging from second, heading to 3rd is Stafford. He's going to be in safely without a throw. Great job by Walls. As we've been mentioning the whole game, the wind blowing strongly and out towards right field. Now when tailing away from Walls, he's able to glove it for the 2nd out. Stafford advancing another 90 feet on another putout. Brings up Joe York with 2 down and the runner on 3rd. Left-handed batting first baseman is 1 of 1 today with the base on balls. Takes a first pitch, called for a strike on the fastball. Mentioned it during the last at-bat, but York, one of the 3 Boise State transfers, unloads on a line drive that's going to sneak to the fence in a hurry, scoring Stafford easily from 3rd. York rounds first, heading to second base. Strong throw from Walls is down the line, and York is into second sliding with a double. Thought for a second that Walls was going to nail York as he unloaded on a throw. It pulled the shortstop Horvat off the bag. He couldn't dive back towards it in time. And it's now a 2-2 ball game on York's 6th RBI of the year.
Designated hitter, Matt Lopez.
Now it'll bring Matt Lopez up with the go-ahead run on second base in York. Right-handed batting designated hitter watches a bouncing ball that Bajani's able to keep in front. York in scoring position off second. This one's tapped straight back. Lopez has reached twice, but he's 1 of 2 officially. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning on a ground ball to 3rd. He singled in the 4th. Hits this one on the ground to Diego Alarcon on the 2nd hop. Long throw, cross diamond, picked by Pfeiffer at first. It's not in time. They're going to say the throw was late, but what a job by Pfeiffer just to keep that one in front. Long throw by Alarcon, just not in time, as Lopez is going to be given an infield single, his 2nd hit of the game. It's the 3rd time he's reached base. York did not advance from second to third, so runners on first and second with 2 down for Colin Villegas. Catcher checks the swing on a big breaking curveball. Call for a strike so far for Beal. A run on 3 hits allowed. We're all knotted up at 2 here in the 5th as Villegas lines one out to right. Walls went in and now turns around and sprints back. That one got over his head in a hurry. York's going to score easily. Lopez held up at third. An RBI double for Colin Villegas gives the Mustangs their first lead of the game. 2 runs on 4 hits allowed by Beal in his first inning of work.
Second baseman, Nick Maricon.
That'll bring out the catcher, Eric Bajani, to have a word with the young right-hander, Noah Beal. Just trying to slow it down. Beal looked like he was reining it in after giving up a Stafford single to lead off the inning. He got Lee to ground out and Samuelson to fly out. Since then, double, single, double. With 2 runs across in the frame. Brings up Nick Marincons, the second baseman, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Watching all the way as the first pitch curveball breaks through the top of the zone for a called strike 1. Marincons was put out on a fly ball to shallow left to end the second inning. Beal working out of the stretch with 2 runners on. Another curveball just missing down. And the wind severely blowing straight away. I think this may be as windy as it's been all afternoon. Wind in the mid-20 miles an hour. As Marincons pops it foul and out of play on the right field side. The palm trees lining the upper concourse here at Earl E. Wilson Stadium swaying in the wind, with the American flag in center field getting blown straight away. The 335 club, they almost are going to blow away beyond the right field's fence. Here's the 1-2, way outside. Fastball watched by Marincons for a called ball 2. Rebels trailing for the first time today, although they were able to come back a couple of different times yesterday. Ground ball hit on the third base side, grabbed by Alarcon. His throw's going to be laid across the diamond as he couldn't recover in time. That'll bring home Lopez from third as Cal Poly all of a sudden doubling up UNLV on an error by Alarcon at third, his third of the season. Marincons advancing to third base. That'll be an error by Alarcon, no RBI. The run will be unearned for Beal. Brings up Matthias Haas for his first at-bat. Haas came in defensively in the bottom of the 4th inning. First pitch to Haas is a fastball just outside.
Number 15, Matthias Haas.
This spot in the lineup has struck out twice. It was Reagan Doss swinging at strike 3 against Balco in the 3rd. Balco got Corio to swing and miss at strike 3 in the 4th. Haas watches a called strike 1 over the inner 3rd to even it up here in the 5th. Haas is the 8th batter of the inning. 4 straight runners reaching, all with 2 outs. Check swing on a pitch down and in. No, he did not on the appeal, says Tom Chandler, the first base umpire. Count 2 balls and a strike to Matthias Haas, wearing number 15 today. 6'1", 200-pounder, Ivy League transfer out of Brown. He swings and hits one on the ground right to the shortstop, Gianni Horvat. He'll go the short way to Adarian Williams covering on second base to put out the fire, but the damage done. Overall, 3 runs scoring on 4 hits, including a Colin Villegas RBI double. And the Rebels come to bat for the first time trailing in the bottom, or the top, bottom of the 5th rather, with the top of their lineup set to get it going. We've played half a ball game, 4.5 down, 4.5 to go. Back with the bottom of inning number 5. Officially in the second half of today's ball game, entering into the bottom of the 5th inning, the Rebels trail for the first time as Ryland Charles in the top of the lineup looks to begin the comeback trail as they were able to do twice successfully last night. Down by a 4-2 score with Ryland Charles leading it off against Travis Weston in his 5th inning of work. Begins it with a changeup, swung on and missed, Charles way over the top. 8 strikeouts so far through 4 innings for Weston. Charles takes a called strike 2. He struck out looking in the first. Weston's featured a strikeout in every inning, multiple strikeouts in every inning but the second. Drew Thorpe recorded 12 strikeouts last night. Just 3 strikeouts to pitchers not named Thorpe afterwards, after his 7+ innings of work. Charles watching all the way on a called ball 1. He's 0 for 2 at the top of the lineup. Entered the day batting .419, taking a little bit of a dip this afternoon. Yanks one foul, pulled it down the first base side. He also popped out to the first baseman York and foul ground to end the 4-batter second. Weston, now the pitcher of record in a positive way for Cal Poly. He deals out of the full wide on 1-2. Charles hits a ground ball third base side. Grabbed by Samuelson. Throw from the hot corner to first is in time. A 5-3 ground out on the scorecard at home. Sets down Charles for the 3rd time. Sets down the leadoff batter for the 3rd time as well.
Left fielder, Austin Krizik.
Eric Bajani led off the 2nd with a home run. Austin Krizik led the 3rd off with a single. Krizik bats here with nobody ahead of him and 1 out on the board in the bottom of the 5th inning. Rebels down by 2. Krizik perfect this afternoon, 2 for 2 at the plate. Weston wastes no time in getting ahead on the changeup. Deals it outside to the right-handed batting Austin Krizik. Working quickly here. Krizik pops it up right side, and traveling in is the right fielder Haas. Heading out is the second baseman Marin Cons. He can't get it. He tips it further into right field. Krizik's going to slide safely into second.
No. He wasn't ready.
Marin Cons was way out in right field. It's an extraordinary effort, so they're going to give Krizik a double. He's now 3 for 3, his 4th double of the season here in the 5th inning. Brings the tying run to the plate in Diego Alarcon.
Third baseman, Diego Alarcon.
Krizik getting closer to the 300 batting average with 3 hits and 3 tries today. Alarcon's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Weston misses high and outside, ball 1. Alarcon started a stretch of 3 straight strikeouts, all swinging for all 3 outs of the 3rd, following a Krizik single. Batting with 1 out, and Krizik in scoring position here in the 5th. Foul ball tipped straight back by Diego, moves the count 1 ball, 1 strike, and just looking out towards the 3rd base bullpen. A couple of bodies starting to head out that direction. Weston entered the inning at 65 pitches. They'd like to stretch him through 5. Qualifying for the win if the score holds. Another changeup moving away from the right-handed batting Alarcon, taken for a called ball 2. Weston's shown off command of all 4 pitches today. Fastball's got arm side run, especially against left-handed batters. Snaps it off on a 2-seam. Moving outside to in on a lefty. Alarcon, a righty, swings and misses at that same fastball, but moving away from him and high in the zone. Also a nice 12-6 curveball, and has thrown a handful of sliders, mainly to left-handed batters on 0-2. Second baseman Marin Cons checks the runner off second. Weston's 2-2 to the plate, is well outside on another fading changeup. So the count goes full to Alarcon. He walked on 4 pitches back in the 1st inning and was ahead 3-0 in the 3rd before striking out. Austin Pfeiffer awaits on deck. Alarcon looking to drive something through the infield here as the 3-2 pitch upcoming. Weston set and delivering. Diego swings and drives one deep to right center field. Into the gap goes Borgonio. Center fielder not going to get it. It bounces all the way to the wall as Krizik scores easily. An RBI double for Diego Alarcon as the Rebels back within a run. 4-3 the score. Back-to-back two-baggers for Krizik and Alarcon. Have the Rebels fighting here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Brings up Enrique Bennett, who's going to pinch hit. Enrique Bennett pinch hitting.
Catcher, please. Batting for Andrew Volge. Number 22, Enrique Bennett.
So Bennett pinch hitting as the DH. Now we're going to get a mound visit from the pitching coach, Jake Silverman, as they're going to try to buy some time as the bullpen is hot down the left field side. Seventh hit of the game on the Alarcon double. Enrique Bennett's going to pinch hit for Coland Volge, who finishes his day 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. There's a southpaw rapidly getting loose beyond the left field fence. Quick meeting on the mound. Partially buying time, partially trying to figure out how they want to go after Enrique Bennett in the pinch hit opportunity. It's Noah Larkin, the left-hander, getting loose, wearing number 49. So it looks like we're going to go from southpaw to southpaw. Rebels trying to bounce Weston from the game here in the fifth inning. They've brought it back within a run. Here's Enrique Bennett. Bennett 1 of 2 in a couple of pinch hit appearances so far as he takes outside. Singled and scored a run in his only time reaching base so far on the year. 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Pinch hitting here is the DH in the cleanup spot in the fifth. Swings and hits one off the end of the bat. A shallow pop fly to right that'll drop. Getting the wave to the plate is Alarcon as they can't handle it cleanly. Marin Cons and the right fielder Haas going back and forth with it. And we're all tied up at 4. Enrique Bennett able to put a ball in play. That's all you can ask for in a situation like that. Kevin Higgins was waving the arm like a windmill at third. Alarcon was headed to the plate no matter what. Would have been a bang-bang play at the plate. All of a sudden turns into no throw and an easy standing run scored for Alarcon. RBI single for Bennett as he drives in. Here's his first run of the year. It's the third straight hit against Weston here in the fifth. Krizik and Alarcon both doubling, both brought around as Bennett awaits on first base with Joey Walls standing in from the right. Watching a first pitch that drifts over the inner half for a called strike. Walls got the scoring started in the first on an RBI single, bringing Austin Krizik in from second. Walls was the third straight strikeout for Weston out of 8 total. I was back in the third inning. He goes down to a knee, swings underneath the pitch that was down in the zone. Walls quickly behind 0-2. Darian Williams awaits on deck with Bennett off of first. His pinch hit RBI singles brought us back to a tied-up ball game at 4 runs each. Walls swings and misses at strike 3. 9th strikeout of the day for Weston. Puts out number 2 on the board in the bottom of the fifth, and will bring up a Darian Williams.
Second baseman at Darian Williams.
Weston entered the day with 9 strikeouts. He's fanned 9 batters today alone in his third outing of the year. Here's a Darian Williams 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts up the middle. Fading changeup rides back on the inside part of home plate. Same pitch that Weston started Walls off with. Williams ended the first with a ground out to second, began the fourth with a ground out to Lee at short. Good size lead for Bennett off the bag at first. Weston deals to the plate. Williams rips a ground ball right back up the middle for a single. 12th hit of the year for Darian will extend the fifth inning, advancing Bennett to second base. And the hit parade continues in the fifth.
Bajani.
9th hit of the game for the Rebels. They entered the fourth with just 5 hits. 4 hits in this inning alone bring up Eric Bajani with runners on first and second. And 2 down. Bajani a good 2-strike hitter, 2-out hitter. He's a good 2-strike hitter as well. Homered to lead off the second, walked in the fourth. 1 of 1 in the books. Another good-sized lead for Bennett off of second this time. Bajani takes a big cut of the first pitch and comes up empty. That was the pitch that he saw in the second that he took over the center field fence. That fastball outside on the first pitch of the at-bat. Austin Pfeiffer awaits on deck with 1 out, or 2 outs rather, as Bajani swings over the pitch. 2 on, 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Time called as the third base umpire signaling 2 down. Count 0-2 to Bajani. 0-2 pitch outside. Count moves to 1 ball, 2 strikes to the Rebel backstop. He's the 7th hitter of the lineup and of the inning. Rylan Charles began it with a ground out to third. Grisick and Alarcon doubled, followed by the Enrique Bennett single. Weston's 1-2, swung on and missed. Bajani set down on strikes. It's the 10th of the day for Weston. But back-to-back doubles and the Bennett clutch pinch hit single have us knotted up at 4 through 5. Back with the 6th inning when we return. This is UNLV Baseball. Two runs on 4 hits in the bottom of the 5th inning have us knotted up at 4. Matt and Everett here from Earl E. Wilson Stadium on the campus of UNLV. In what's been a fun series between Cal Poly and the Rebels. Back and forth last night, ending in a 7-6 10-inning walk-off win for UNLV here in Game 2. It's been a back-and-forth affair already as Noah Beal misses way outside on a pitch that goes to the backstop against the right fielder Brent Borgonio. Borgonio, the only Mustang that did not hit in the 8-batter 5th inning, watches another bouncing ball. This one moves it to a ball, or 2 balls, no strikes. Borgonio got the scoring started for the road side after homering to straightaway center with 1 down in the 3rd inning. Solo shot was his first of the year as Beal misses way outside. Count goes 3 balls, no strikes to the leadoff batter here in the 6th inning. Stafford, the leadoff man, awaiting on deck. Watching all the way was Borgonio as it's a called strike over the outer half from Beal. He came in and gave up 3 runs on 4 hits. 2 of them were earned thanks to an error in the 5th, but watched as the bats backed him up with 2 runs of their own in the 5th inning. A swing and a miss over this pitch by Borgonio will load the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Beal hoping to come all the way back from 3-0 to 3-2 now. Borgonio, the number 9 hitter, watches as the right hander comes set. He deals. Pitch in the dirt, swung on and missed for strike 3. First strikeout for Beal. So he's able to come back from 3-0 and strike out Borgonio on the next 3 pitches in order. Leadoff man set down by Beal as Ryan Stafford comes into the right-handed batter's box. He's been a thorn in the side all afternoon. 2 for 3. He watches the first pitch outside. Singled and scored as part of that 3-run fifth. Doubled and was stranded on second base in the third. Took an outstanding play up the middle from Gianni Horvat to retire him to begin the ball game. He drives this one high in the air, deep to center. Charles back to the wall. He leaps and it sneaks over the fence. Cal Poly retakes the lead on Ryan Stafford's second home run of the year. So Stafford now a triple away from the cycle as he's been driving the ball all over the yard today. Home run number 1 drives in RBI number 4.
The shortstop.
Also puts the visitors on top for the third time. This one's been back and forth, really from the jump. So following the home run, Beal hoping to come back against Brooks Lee. He's been held hitless so far today after registering 3 yesterday. Big swing on a curveball on the first pitch. Lee behind 0-1. The preseason consensus All-American Brooks Lee batting .529 entering into today's contest. Another curveball, this one yanked fouled on the first base side. Lee's average dropping to a paltry 500. So home run and a team-leading 14 RBIs. One of the top players in college baseball this season is Lee. 0-2 from Beal, hit the other way, down the left field line, fading and dropping fair. Lee rounding first, heading to second as Krizik picks it up and fires to the cutoff man, Gianni Horvat. Lee with his 7th double of the year, retaking the team lead from Ryan Stafford, who doubled earlier. Brings in Tate Samuelson with a runner on second and 1 down.
Samuelson.
It's the 19th hit of the year for Lee here in the 10th game for the Mustangs. Samuelson's 0 for 3, following him up as he swings and misses at a pitch way down and way out. A pair of pop-outs and an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play off the bat of Samuelson today. And after offering at that pitch way outside, head coach Larry Lee in the third base coaching box is going to call him down. And given the circumstance and where Lee has been, or Samuelson rather, has been batting today, just trying to calm down his third baseman. 6'2" senior out of San Diego. Gets a pat on the back from Lee as he heads back to the right-handed batter's box with the count 0-1 against him. Samuelson getting a vote of confidence pregame as he was bumped up from the 6th spot to the 3 spot today after going 2 for 6 last night. That pitch bounced in. Good block by Bajani with Lee nearly falling over, slamming on the brakes between second and third. Balco's given up multiple hits in every inning, all 2 of them so far. Multiple extra base hits in both frames also. Comes set looking at second. Comes to the plate on 1-1. Foul ball tipped straight down by Samuelson. Moves it to 1-2 with Joe York awaiting on deck. Outfield's deep. Playing straight up against the right-handed hitting Samuelson. He swings and chops one foul beyond his own third base dugout. There's a left-hander continuing to get loose as it's still Noah Larkin. Would be surprised if we don't see him in the 6th. Travis Weston's needed 82 pitches to get through 5 innings of work, and with the bats backing him up, he's now the pitcher of record once again. Samuelson swings and is just able to get a piece of this one, tipping it straight down. Bajani had it covered. Samuelson's been offering up at those curveballs down and out from Beal the entirety of this at-bat. Beal got Samuelson to pop out deep into the right field cornerback in the 5th, trying to keep the third baseman off base once again. Another pitch, tap foul, down the first base side and rolling. Top of the 6th in a 5-4 ball game. Number 3 batter Tate Samuelson swings and lines one fair down the third base side. That's going to roll all the way to the wall and score Brooks' lead from second base. Cal Poly's lead back to 2 as the throw goes into the cutoff man. 6-4, the visitors on top. So following the leadoff strikeout of Borgogno, a homer and 2 doubles in succession have brought the Mustangs back out on top by a pair of runs.
Joe York.
RBI number 5 on the year for Samuelson as he'll replace Lee at second base. Brings up Joe York with a runner in scoring position and one out. York doubled in the 5th, drove in a run, later came around to score on his own. First pitch from Beal. Going backwards with the curveball to get things started. York is perfect on the afternoon. 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored to go along with the base on balls issued by the starter Troy Balco, who walks out with a no decision. Another curveball. This one swung on and missed by York. He was sitting dead red on the fastball. Instead, Beal spun one in on him. Wind still blowing to straightaway center field as Beal fires on 0-2, missing with a changeup outside. Breaking ball sent Bajani scrambling out of the squat. It's the 6th double of the day, including a pair of home runs. 8 of the 10 hits have been for extra bases for Cal Poly as York swings and misses at strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning and of the relief appearance for Beal. Puts out number 2 on the board with Samuelson still on second base. It's Matt Lopez, the DH, batting from the right.
Lopez.
Open stance for Lopez, who has not been held off base yet. Reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd. Takes a nicely spotted fastball down and outside from Beal. Lopez followed up the fielder's choice with singles in the 4th and the 5th. It's brought around on a Colin Villegas RBI double. Able to hold up on a check swing. Lopez thought about it, then thought better. Former Washington State product, a 6'1", 225-pound senior. Bats with a runner on and 2 down. Cal Poly leads by 2 here in the 6th. Lopez hits a chopper right to the third baseman Alarcon, who gloves it, sets the feet, fires high, but on target to first base. 2 runs on 3 hits, including a Ryan Stafford home run and doubles by Lee and Samuelson following it. Have the Cal Poly Mustangs leading UNLV by a 6-4 score heading into the bottom of the 6th inning with Austin Pfeiffer set to get it going when we return to Earl E. Wilson Stadium.
First baseman, Austin Pfeiffer.
6'3", left-handed freshman Noah Larkin atop the mound for Cal Poly as we enter into the bottom of the 6th inning. Mustangs a newly enjoyed 6-4 lead as Austin Pfeiffer swings over the first pitch from the left-hander Larkin. Comes in after Travis Weston lasted 5 full innings. With the bats backing him up, Weston in line for the win if the score were to hold. As Pfeiffer pops it up, foul down the first base side. York, the first baseman, gives it a run. It's Matthias Haas diving, able to make the grab. No immediate ruling from the first base umpire, Tom Chandler, but Pfeiffer pops out in foul ground. What a catch from Matthias Haas, covering a ton of ground. Able to track it down on a full extension dive. So Larkin ahead with 1 out and nobody on to Gianni Horvat.
The shortstop.
The final line for
Gianni
Travis Weston,
Horvat.
again, who's in line for the win. 4 runs all earned over 5 innings. He gave up 8 hits, walked 2, but struck out a season-high 10 over 82 pitches, 60 for strikes. Larkin's making his 3rd appearance of the year, his first since the 2nd of March against Portland. This is outside of Gianni Horvat, who's over 2 with a pair of swinging strikeouts. Larkin 0-1 with a 0 ER, or no decision rather. That one is a save. Earned the save in his first outing of the year against Missouri State as Horvat takes a called strike to bring the count 2-1 to the Rebel shortstop. Weston is, or Larkin rather, not allowed to run yet on the year on just 2 hits over 3 2/3 innings. Horvat takes high. Count goes 3-1 to the number 9 batter. Larkin's been excellent in his first year of college ball. 3 2/3 innings coming into the day. No runs on 2 hits with 4 strikeouts. Horvat grounds one foul down the third base side. Like a statue down there is Kevin Higgins. Larkin can stretch it out as well. Went 3 scoreless innings against Portland back on the 2nd. Struck out 4 and walked 1. Giving up 3 hits and 44 pitches in a 5-4 loss. Horvat slides this one down the first base side. That'll end up in the right field bullpen. So working on long at bat with 1 out and nobody on is Horvat. With Larkin out of Pacifica, California against the Valencia, California native Gianni Horvat. Ground ball to short, grabbed by Lee. Throw across the diamond, grabbed at first by York. And Horvat grounds out to short, quickly away with 2 down here in the 6th inning. Back at the top of the lineup, it's Rylan Charles, who's been held off base so far today.
Rylan Charles.
0 for 3 with a ground out to third, a pop out to first, and a strikeout looking to begin the game against Weston. First of an eventual 10 for the Cal Poly starter. First pitch in a left-on-left matchup, watched over the outer half of the plate for a called strike. Larkin posted a 5-4 record and a 3.46 ERA his senior year of high school. This one's popped up by Charles. Still on the move backwards is Borgonio, the center fielder, able to track it down with the wind pushing it to straightaway center field. Charles set down for the 4th time today. UNLV set down in order for the first time today. 3 up and 3 down for Noah Larkin here in the 6th inning. We'll be back with the 7th. Rebels trailing 6-4. You're listening to Rebel Baseball here on the UNLV Athletics page. Back with the top of the 7th inning, pre-stretch break. Matt and Everett with you from Earl E. Wilson Stadium here in the middle game of 3 between Cal Poly and UNLV. First pitch in the 3rd inning of work for Noah Beal misses outside to the right-handed hitting catcher Colin Villegas. Doubled home a run back in the 5th inning. Otherwise, he's been held off the base paths. Beal's 1-0 pitch misses in the same spot as the prior delivery. Starts it out 2-0 to Colin Villegas. Rebels down in order in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pfeiffer, Horvat, and Charles recording a pop-out, a ground-out, and a fly-out, respectively. Beal misses down and out. Count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. Beal has been hit around in his 2 innings of work, giving up 5 runs on 7 hits total, including a walk. It's a called strike 1 over the outside part of the plate to bring it to 3-1 to Villegas. The catcher hitting 6th in the lineup. It'll be Marin Cons and the right fielder Matthias Haas. Next 2 batters. Ground ball yanked down the third base side, fair. Into the corner it goes as Villegas is going to be into second with extra bases. Picked up by the left fielder Krizik and fired in. It's the 8th hit allowed through 2 innings plus by Beal. 6 of the 8 have been for extra bases as well, as Tate Samuelson had a double nearly to that same spot in the 6th inning.
Nick Marincon.
Cal Poly up by 2 and threatening here in the top of the 7th. Brings up Nick Marincons, the second baseman, who's hitless, but he's reached twice so far. Once on the Alarcon error on a hot shot grounder right to him in the 5th that would have ended that inning. Squares to bunt, pokes it foul straight back. Marincons also walked in the 4th, flat out to left in the 2nd. Beal comes set, looking at second base. Here's his 0-1. Missing down and away. Beal's pitching for the first time since the 26th of February against Hawaii, where he was excellent. Gave up 2 hits and walked a batter, but nobody scored against him over 4 innings in a win against the Rainbow Warriors. Here's his 1-1 to Marincons. Line drive right back to him off a bounce. He's able to glove it, look to second, and then spins around and fires one to first base, retiring Marincons for the 2nd time today. A 1-3 ground out, featuring a nice snag by
Right fielder
Beal atop the mound.
Matthias Haas.
Brings up Matthias Haas with 1 out and a runner in scoring position. Pre-stretch break here in the 7th. Haas ended the 8-batter 5th with a 6-4 fielder's choice ground out up the middle. It's been his only other plate appearance. Lines this one back up the middle, but it'll fall in center for a base hit. Getting the wave to the plate is Villegas. The throw from the center fielder Ryland Charles is cut off by Pfeiffer. It's now a 7-4 lead for Cal Poly here in the 7th inning. RBI number 6 on the year for Matthias Haas, as he's now 1 of 2 after the RBI hit. Cal Poly now up by 3. Brings in Brett Borgogno, who's 1 of 3 with a solo home run. Watches a bouncing ball blocked by Bajani. The Rebels need Beal to be able to stretch this out, as they used 1 reliever out of the pen. It was Nick Rupp yesterday. Got the win after 3 2/3 innings for his first decision either way on the year. Slide step on 1-0 as Beal misses outside, falling behind yet another Mustang batter. Borgogno, after the solo home run in the 3rd inning, popped out to left in the 4th and led off the 6th against Beal with a swinging strikeout, 1 of 2 so far for the right-hander. 2-0 pitch is a letter-high fastball called for strike 1. Matthias Haas off the bag at first. Maybe 2 steps off, held on by Pfeiffer. He's not going anywhere. The foul ball knocked straight back by Borgogno will bring the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outfield playing him to go the other way with Krizik deep but way off the line and left. Shallow and away from the line and right is Walls. Curveball just upstairs, called for ball 3, will load the count. Looking over to the third base coach, the head coach Larry Lee, is both Borgonio at the plate and Haas off first. Seeing what they're going to do. The runner does not go. 3-2 pitch hit on the ground. Right to it, Darian Williams. A feed to Horvat at second. The slick throw off the back foot is in time. An inning-ending 4-6-3 double play will get us to the stretch break here at Earl E. Wilson Stadium. Rebels trailing by 3. It'll be the heart of their lineup to get it going coming out of the stretch break in the 7th inning.
Left fielder, Austin Krissick.
Another run tacked on for Cal Poly on 2 hits in the top of the 7th inning. Colin Villegas doubled to lead it off. Matthias Haas drove him in on a single as Austin Krissick falls behind 0-1 against Noah Larkin to begin the bottom of the 7th, coming out of the stretch break. So far, so good for Larkin. 3 up and 3 down in the 6th. Left-hander working out of the stretch, misses up and away to Krissick. Count goes even at 1-1. Rebel left fielder has been perfect on the afternoon. 3 for 3 with 2 singles and a double. Scored 2 of the 4 runs rather. 7-4 lead for Cal Poly. Krissick takes a breaking ball away to move it to 2-1. Krissick, Alarcon, and the Bennett spot as this one swung on. Hit up the middle, the 4th hit of the game for Austin Krissick. A fisted shot that skipped over the head of the second baseman, Nick Marincones, will put Austin Krissick on for the 4th time via the benefit of a hit. Now 14 of 42 on the year. Average skyrocketing 70 points today alone for Krissick. Goes from 263 where he entered to 333 after 4 at-bats. Brings up Diego Alarcon from the right side. Rebel third baseman takes a nicely spotted fastball outside, but called for a strike from Larkin. First hit that the left-hander has allowed on the day. He is not allowed to run in 2 prior appearances on the year, spanning just under 4 innings. His 0-1 to Alarcon is inside. Of course, last night's game featured a pair of major comebacks. Rebels scoring a run in the 8th, another run in the 9th to tie it. After Cal Poly scored 2 in the 10th, the Rebels responded with 3 in the walk-off as Alarcon twists this one into the right center field gap. Nobody's going to get it as the center fielder Borgonio watches it bounce. Rounding second into third is Krissick. Misplayed on the cutoff. Krissick lost out on an opportunity there, but it is a no-out double for Diego Alarcon. 2 runners in scoring position and the tying run coming to the plate in Enrique Bennett, who singled home a run last time up.
Designated hitter, Enrique Bennett.
Bennett 2 for 3 so far on the year in 3 pinch hit appearances. This is his 2nd AB of the game. Infield drawn in about halfway, especially the corners. Bennett watching all the way on a called strike. First pitch slider dropping in at the letters. Samuelson at third and York at first are just behind the base paths, and Colin Villegas coming out, making sure that him and the freshman lefty Noah Larkin are on the same page. The tall and lanky senior catcher Enrique Bennett stands 6'3", 175 pounds. The Tustin, California native, one of a couple of players in this game to transfer from Golden West Community College. Open stance from the right. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Outside on the changeup. Nobody up behind Noah Beal in the UNLV bullpen down the right field side. There's movement but no action in the visiting bullpen down the third base line. Count 1-1 to Bennett as he swings and misses over a pitch moving away. 1-2 count to the designated hitter in his second at bat. Grizikoff third, Alarkonoff second. As Larkin comes set, the southpaw deals. Inside, freezing Bennett for a called strike 3. First punch out for Larkin comes here in the 7th inning, his second frame of work. That'll bring up Joey Walls with a chance to tie the game with one swing. One thing that the Rebels did especially well in the comeback bid last night, I'll say the multiple comeback bids, is they strung hits together. In the 8th, 9th, and 10th innings, they did not send less than 6 batters to the plate in any frame. Walls swings, pulls it foul on the third base side. Jumping all over the first pitch he saw from Noah Larkin. This is the first at bat he's faced off against the freshman lefty. 1 of 3 so far. Walls singled and drove in a run in the first, has struck out in both of his other at-bats. 10 strikeouts for Weston. Swings and fouls it straight back as count goes 0-2 to Walls. Right fielder who's made a couple of nice catches in the outfield, chasing down balls in the gap, and does sting the ball well when he puts it in play. Never see him with weak contact. Here's the 0-2. Hit well through the left side of the infield. That'll score 1 run. Held up at third is Alarcon. The throw cut off by the third baseman Samuelson. Second RBI hit of the game for Walls brings the Rebels back within 2. It's now a 7-5 contest. Tying run on base, Adarian Williams stands in, representing the go-ahead run all of a sudden late in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Second baseman, Adarian Williams.
Rebels second baseman is 1 of 3, singled in the 5th after grounding out twice up the middle. Long look in for Larkin. He'll deal over the outside on the first pitch, called for a strike. A 1 pitch, tapped up the middle. Second baseman grabs it as Marin Collins doesn't field it cleanly. Safe at the plate is Alarcon, everybody else safe elsewhere. Now a 7-6 game. Marin Collins did not field it cleanly. Walls safe at second. Williams reaches first, and the Rebels back within a run.
Catcher, Eric Bajani.
Marin Collins charged with the error, so no RBI for Williams. First pitch swinging is Bajani. Drives it in the air to center, tagging at second is Walls. He tags as the catch is made. The throw goes to third, but Walls, representing the tying run, now 90 feet away. Bajani pops out on a ball that he had off the end of the bat. He's been aggressive on the first pitch of many of these at-bats today. Runners in the corners with 2 down now as Walls moves to third. Williams stays at first after he reached on the error by Marin Collins. Brings up Austin Pfeiffer, who's 0 for 3. He's popped out twice to right, although it took a diving catch and foul ground by Matthias Haas to take it away from him in the 6th. Pitch high, outside, called for ball 1 in a left-on-right
First
matchup.
baseman, Austin Pfeiffer.
Rebels battling back today as they did last night. See if they can complete it here in the 7th alone. Pfeiffer takes a bouncing ball. Williams heads to second. He's going to be in safely without a throw on the wild pitch. No advancement from Walls at third. That one did not bounce far away enough from the catcher Villegas. Pfeiffer, the 7th batter of the inning, the 8th batter of the lineup. Here's the 2-0 from Larkin. Upstairs, called for a ball. Pfeiffer struck out swinging in the 4th. He's put the ball in play his other 2 plate appearances. Larkin takes a step off the back of the mound. Count 3-0 to Fife. Ball 4, missing inside is Larkin. Bases loaded with the go-ahead run on second, the tying run on third. That'll bring up Gianni Horvat, maybe not. He's been ushered back into the dugout by Stan Stolte. Looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter. Santino Pinero, or rather Jordan Andrade. Jordan Andrade emerges from the first base dugout. So Pfeiffer walked. Horvat lifted from the game after 2 strikeouts and a ground out to short. So it's Jordan Andrade with the pinch hit opportunity. And what would be a big one if he's able to come through? He's been clutch so far on the year, 4 of 9 in his limited opportunities.
Batting for Horvat, number 4, Jordan Andrade.
That'll bring out the pitching coach, Jake Silverman, is now cat and mouse game in the bottom of the 7th inning. Both teams trying to one-up each other in a 7-6 ball game. Cal Poly's been leading since the 6th. Rebels fighting back in the late innings. So here's Jordan Andrade, as pressure filled a pinch hit appearance as he's had on the year. Due up with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Rebels have plated 2 runs on 3 hits. Runners have reached by an error and a walk as well in this half frame. Andrade pinch hitting for Horvat, who ends the day 0 for 3. Andrade wearing number 4, the sophomore infielder out of Yucaipa, California. He takes high in the zone, called for a strike. Again, 4 hits and 9 prior plate appearances for Andrade. He's been great off the bench. Waves the bat beyond the right ear as he swings. Rolls one down the third base side. It's going to trickle foul. Touched up in foul territory by the pitcher Larkin emphatically. Andrade making his first appearance since Tuesday. Came in as a pinch hitter in the loss against Utah. It was a 12-9 decision that featured 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Andrade doubled and struck out. Ended the game with a swinging strikeout to kill the comeback attempt. Love to make up for it here. Williams off second, trying to hype up the dugout with Larkin taking a step off the mound. It's Walls ahead of him at third with Pfeiffer behind him at first. Nowhere to put Jordan Andrade, who's behind 0-1. Pitch outside, called for a ball. Watched all the way by the 5'11 Jordan Andrade. Sophomore played sparingly last year. Started just the game against San Diego, the first of the 2 games against San Diego on Friday last weekend. Count 1-1 to him as the left-hander Noah Larkin comes set. Andrade, line drive up the middle, sneaks through the infielder. This game is tied at Darian Williams, rounds third. He'll score, and the Rebels on top. A 2 RBI single for Jordan Andrade in the 7th. Jordan Andrade with RBIs number 3 and 4 on the year. His most clutch ribbies coming here in the bottom of the 7th on a Saturday afternoon. Both runs unearned due to the error, and the hit parade continues in the 7th. It's the 9th batter of the inning as Rylan Charles stands in from the left. Rebels on top, 8-7.
Rylan Charles.
Charles is hitless today, 0 for 4. First pitch slider breaking over the heart of the plate, called for a strike. Austin Krizik led the inning off with a single. Diego Alarcon doubled behind him. Enrique Bennett struck out looking. Walls with an RBI single. Williams reached on an error. Johnny popped out to center. Pfeiffer with a walk and a Horvat double, followed by Rylan Charles' first hit of the game. It skips off the right fielder, Matthias Haas, and rolls all the way to the wall. 1 run's going to score. Here comes Pfeiffer all the way from second. The throw to third is not in time. Rebels lead 10-7 in a bombastic bottom of the 7th inning. Rylan Charles comes up clutch. The Matthias Haas misplay advances him to third. Andrade was going to score without question there. Pfeiffer does move well for a tall player. And that'll be the end of the line for Noah Larkin. Can't get through his second inning of work as the Rebels have now batted around in the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll get you his partial lines as well as the name and numbers of the reliever coming in. We got ourselves a pitching change with the Rebels on top by 3. Right-hander Jason Franks on to try to put out the fire here in the bottom of the 7th inning, with the Rebels already plating 6 runs here in the frame. Franks came in and faced 2 batters yesterday in the bottom of the 8th. Walked a batter and On a fly out to center off the bat of Austin Krizik, who stands in with Rylan Charles on third. First pitch down to Krizik. Charles given credit for a single and one RBI. A two-base error by the right fielder Matthias Haas advanced him all the way from first to third. If Pfeiffer scoring from first, it was going to be Andrade scoring no matter what. His pitch inside to Krizik. And mix up that order rather. Pfeiffer was going to score from second regardless. Andrade definitely would not have scored on the line drive to right had Haas not misplayed it all the way to the fence. So one RBI for Charles. Franks in behind Noah Larkin, who lasted an inning and 2/3. Couldn't quite finish his second inning of work. Krizik swings through a fastball, moves the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Larkin allowed all 6 runs there in the 7th, but only 2 of them were earned. A pair of costly errors have hurt the Mustangs here in the 7th inning. Krizik pops it down out of play beyond the right field fence. Count goes deuces wild in the 7th. Krizik led the inning off with a single. His second at bat features a 2-2 count with 2 down. Krizik leans away from that pitch high. And Franks again pitched to just 2 batters in the 8th inning last night. Franks is 6'4", 220-pound senior out of Novato, California. Working out of the stretch with Charles on third, gets a swing and a miss from Austin Krizik. Overall, in the bottom of the 7th, 10 batters come to the plate, 6 runs scoring on 5 hits with 2 errors and 1 man left on. And just like that, the Rebels have jumped back out to a lead, this time their biggest of the game by a 10-7 score as we enter into the top of the 8th inning.
In the bottom of the 7th inning.
If you missed the bottom of the 7th inning, you didn't miss much. Just 10 batters coming to the plate, 6 runs scoring on 5 hits with 2 costly errors, and the Rebels have jumped out to a 10-7 lead in what's been a seesaw back-and-forth affair on a Saturday afternoon. Noah Beal begins his 4th inning of work with a pitch outside to the leadoff hitter Ryan Stafford, who has been the biggest threat offensively today for the visitors. 3 for 4, he's a triple shy of the cycle. Homer to center in his last time up. He swings here and chops one to the third base side. Jordan Andrade, who came in as a pinch hitter, has it go off of his glove on a backhand lunging attempt, but that'll be ruled an infield single for Stafford, his 4th hit in 5 tries of the game. He's put a ball in play every single time, and it took an outstanding effort by Horvat to retire him in the 1st inning. Andrade can't get to that one, so the single for Stafford is his 16th of the year, and again his 4th of the day. Brings up Brooks Lee with a runner on. The Rebels on top by 3, giving Beal a bit more cushion. However, there is a right-hander getting loose behind him in the bullpen. California right-hander watches Lee swing, drive one deep to right field. Sneaking it over the top of the fence is the number 5 overall draft prospect. His 2nd home run of the year is his 2nd hit of the day. All of a sudden, Cal Poly back within a run. Lee wasting no time. 1 of 3 against Beal alone. Make it 2 for 3 with the 2-run home run, bringing the Mustangs back within a single tally. So the
Third
single
baseman,
followed
Tate
by the blast
Samuelson.
will bring up Tate Samuelson with 2 runs across in the inning. Still no outs. Taking a look down to the right field bullpen, trying to see the right-hander warming up at a hastened pace here in the top half of the 8th with offense galore in the game. 10-9 the count right now. Looks like it's Sam Simon, the right-hander, wearing number 26, getting loose in the bullpen. And now time called. It's going to be the skipper Stan Stolte out from the first base dugout. He's having a word with the home plate umpire Sam Calleja. Stops by the umpire quickly and will make the slow walk out to the mound to yank Beal. So Beal's going to be lifted after the home run. It'll be Sam Simon into the game with Stolte making his way to the mound. And we'll see if they end up yanking him here or not as he heads out there slowly, stands atop the mound with the hands firmly supplanted on his hips. Simon continues to get loose. No movement from the bullpen. Typically, Stan does not come out unless there's going to be a pitching change. And I think everybody looking out towards the right field bullpen leads you to his intentions. Now he'll make the point out. So Simon's going to come into the game for Beal. They just needed to get him warmed up a bit more. So we'll come back with Sam Simon atop the hill when we return. Noah Beal lifted after not being able to record an out in his 4th inning of work out of the bullpen. Freshman right-hander Sam Simon into the ballgame, facing off against Tate Samuelson. Nobody on, nobody out here in the 8th inning. 2 runs already across for the visitors. First pitch outside from the 6'3", 200-pound Sam Simon is called for a ball. Simon pitching in just his 2nd game of the year. Pitch to Samuelson is crushed deep to left field. Krizik will turn around and watch it fly over the fence. Simon comes in and gives up a home run to Samuelson, and we're now tied at 10 runs apiece. Second pitch Simon throws, taken out of the yard. Brooks Lee and Tate Samuelson going back-to-back against 2 different Rebel pitchers. And yet again, this game is tied. So Beal now with a no decision. as Samuelson gives up the tying
First
run
baseman,
on
Joe
a solo
York.
home run by Samuelson, his first of the year and his second hit of the day. Joe York standing in from the left side, watching a fading changeup outside from Sam Simon. So the first home run allowed by Simon in just his fourth inning of work. A right-hander out of Centennial High School bounces a pitch into York to fall behind, 2 balls and no strikes. 10-10 the score. 29 combined hits between the two sides. Nicely spotted 2-0 fastballs. Called for a strike to York, who's 2 for 3. Walked in the fourth, struck out in the sixth. He singled and doubled as well. York takes a heater inside from Sam Simon. And final line on Noah Beal, 3 innings. He allowed 8 runs on 7 hits. Or rather, 8 runs, 7 earned on 11 hits. York leans away from a fastball that's called for a strike. Started to think about it, but watching all the way as Simon brings the count full. Beal didn't walk anybody and struck out 2. And again, he'll leave with a no decision after throwing 67 pitches. York takes a called ball 4 in the dirt. 4th straight Cal Poly batter to reach to start the inning.
Designated hitter, Matt Lopez.
So York to first. Definite double play candidate if Simon can get a ground ball off the bat of the DH, Matt Lopez. 2 for 4 so far. Lopez has reached, though, in 3 of his 4 plate appearances thanks to a fielder's choice, his first time up in the second. Simon bounces a pitch in there, called for ball 1 to Lopez. Stafford led the inning off with a single. Brooks Lee then homered on the first pitch he saw. That was the end of the line for Noah Beal. 2 pitches later, Tate Samuelson took Sam Simon deep to knot us up at 10. Foul ball hit high and out of plate on the right field side. Lopez singles in the 4th and the 5th inning. Came around to score as part of that 3-run 4-hit, 8-batter 5th. Got the count even at 1-1. Simon deals. Lopez hits a ground ball to Alarcon at third. His feed to second is in time. Williams with the turn and the fire to first. A 5-4-3 double play, the second of the game. Puts 2 outs on the board here with nobody on in the 8th inning. It's exactly what you want if you're Sam Simon. As Colin Villegas, the right-handed batting catcher, stands in with nobody on base ahead of him.
The catcher, Colin Villegas.
Alarcon does have an error today, but overall he's cleaned up the defense mightily. Villegas takes a called strike 1 from Simon. Alarcon, one thing we've noticed is that he definitely shades deeper this year than he did last year. He is very deep and hugging the line at third right here. 0-1 pitch, pops straight back from Villegas. Foul ball brings a 0-2 count. Both Alarcon at third and Jordan Andrade at short, shaded very deep against the pull-heavy Villegas, who's doubled twice down the left field line today. Doubles number 4 and 5 on the year. Brooks Lee leads the team with 7. Check swing, call for strike 3. So Simon, after giving up the leadoff home run and walking a batter, gets a double play and a backwards K as Villegas strikes out looking in the top of the 8th. We are all tied up at 10. Entering the bottom of the 8th inning, it'll be Diego Alarcon to lead it off when we return to Earl E. Wilson Stadium. Findlay Chevrolet, located in the Southwest at 215 and South Rainbow, Nevada's #1 Chevy dealership. Frankly, we're customer driven.
Third baseman.
Bottom of the 8th inning, things getting tense in a game that's now tied at 10. 3 runs on 3 hits against 2 UNLV bullpen arms for Cal Poly in the top of the 8th has us right back where we started, both sides with the same amount of runs, this time 10 apiece. Second inning of work for Jason Franks out of the bullpen. Begins with a pitch inside off the back foot of the right-handed hitting Diego Alarcon. Alarcon, the third baseman, has reached 3 times in his 4 plate appearances, including a pair of doubles. Franks out of the stretch, clips the outer half for a called strike, I believe. No, interesting hand signal there from the umpire, Sam Calleja. Alarcon has doubled twice, doubling his double total from 2 to 4, if you will. 1-1 pitch way high. Leans Alarcon away from the plate as Franks falls behind 2 balls and a strike. Franks, one of the rare additions to a varsity program from the school's club baseball team. Franks spent 2 seasons pitching for the Mustangs at the club level in the NCBA, National Club Baseball Association. Alarcon goes the other way, a spinning ball that bounces through the right side of the infield past Nick Marincons at second. Third hit of the game for Diego Alarcon, gives him 14 on the year. Also has reached in 4 of his 5 plate appearances. We'll have a pinch hitter in the DH spot as Santino Pinero strides in. Pinero, the freshman left-handed batter out of Bishop Gorman High School in town. So Pinero, the 3rd different designated hitter used by Stan Stolte. Colin DeVolge struck out twice in a start. Enrique Bennett singled, drove in a run in the 5th, and then struck out. And that'll bring up Santino Pinero. Pinero's 5 of 8 in 4 prior pinch hit appearances.
Pinero.
It's a 625 average in a small sample size. He'll square to bunt with the go-ahead run on first. The pitcher Franks misses outside with the third baseman Samuelson charging. Teams will tell you what they're doing by the way that they guard the bunt. With the third baseman charging and the first baseman York on, it's going to be up to the pitcher Franks to cover the first base line on anything not bunted right to York. We'll see which baseline Pinero decides to drop it down. Pulls it back on a pitch that is called for a strike, barely on the outside part of home plate. Getting the series of signs from the third base coach Kevin Higgins. As it's Pinero looking to advance the runner. He'll square to bunt early on a 1-1 pitch. Franks delivers. He pops it up. Third baseman Samuelson catches it in the air. So that'll go as a pop out to third on the bunt. Alarcon back to first base. Obviously no advancement on that one. It's Joey Walls now batting with 1 out. Would not expect to see him try to drop one down. Walls, a powerful batter who's 2 for 4 today with a pair of RBI singles to go along with 2 strikeouts. First pitch in a right-on-right matchup. Walls does square to bunt, pulls it back on a drag attempt. That does not drop down for a called ball. Franks, so far this season, including his 3rd of an inning pitch last night, 1-1 with a 4.7 ERA prior to his outing today in the 8th inning. He takes or throws a strike rather to Walls. A knee-high fastball called for strike 1 to even the count. Franks is the 3rd pitcher used, came in behind Noah Larkin. Now Larkin off first. The 1-1 to Walls is fisted straight back. A foul ball to the right field side. Will move it a ball and 2 strikes to the Rebel right fielder. A season-long 3 1/3 innings tossed by Franks back on the 22nd of February against Fresno State. Gave up an unearned run on a walk and 3 hits while striking out 2. Not a high strikeout total for Franks. Lanky righty deals and gets Walls to swing and miss. So as we're talking about the strikeout, gets Walls down on strikes for the 3rd time today for the right fielder.
Second baseman, Darian Williams.
That'll bring up a Darian Williams looking to extend the bottom of the 8th inning. Rebel second baseman, 1 of 4, though he reached on an error in the 7th and was brought around to score. Was was plated on the Ryland Charles RBI single. So he fights this pitch off and pokes it into the seats down the right field line. Williams tabbed as a preseason All-Mountain West selection for the second straight year, second team All-Conference after the season ended last year. Thanks in part due to his strong second half. He was awesome down the backstretch of the year for UNLV in 2021. 0-1 pitch, nicely spotted fastball moving across home plate by Franks. Does throw a straight fastball, no real tail on it to the arm side of the right-hander. Franks pitching in his third year on the varsity club after 2 years on the club team. 0-2 pitch poked the other way on the ground, moving to his left as the second baseman Marincons. Williams set down 4-3 on the scorecard as one second baseman grounds out to the other. We're going to the top of the ninth in a tied-up ball game. 10 runs apiece. Cal Poly will send the bottom third of their lineup up against the right-hander Sam Simon when we return. Sam Simon back out for the top of the ninth inning. 10-10. It's Cal Poly and UNLV playing in a slugfest after UNLV walked it off in 10 innings by a 7-6 score last night.
Second baseman, Nick.
Bottom third of the lineup to get it going for the visiting Mustangs. It's Nick Marincons, the second baseman, batting with Sam Simon dealing on a fastball called for a strike at the knees to begin the ninth inning. Rebels set down in 4 batters in the 8th inning after the leadoff single by Diego Alarcon was unable to be moved anywhere past first base. Marincons hits a ground ball left side, sneaks it past the shortstop Andrade. Go-ahead run reaching in the form of Marincons, who's on with his first hit of the game. Now up to Matthias Haas to try to do something with it. Haas, 1 of 2, came in as a defensive replacement in the 5th inning.
The right fielder.
Wind still blowing straight away to center field as Simon deals to Haas, missing outside with the catcher Bajani rotating around to the right to keep it in front of him. Haas singled and drove in a run in the 7th, was the only run that scored against Beal in that frame. Beal's final line, 3 innings, 8 runs, 7 earned on 11 hits, no walks, and a pair of strikeouts. Haas swings late on the fastball, fouls it out of plate on the right field line to even the count up at 1. Haas starts with the bat held in front of the chest, kind of resting it on the shoulder. Very short lead off the bag at first for Marincons, representing the go-ahead run. 1-1 pitch, tipped straight back to the screen by Haas. Count goes a ball and 2 strikes. Haas listed as number 16, but wearing 15 in the alternate black tops. Redshirt freshman transfer from Brown. 6'1", 200 pounds, a good build on the outfielder. Came in as a defensive replacement again in the 5th inning. Swings and misses as Bajani's able to squeeze it. Strike 3 for the first out of the top half of the 9th inning. First time that Haas has been set down on strikes. Second strikeout for Simon.
Brett Borgonio.
Number 9 batter Brett Borgonio in from the right side. He homered in the third to straightaway center field, but it has been held off the base paths since. Breaking ball, bounced in there by Simon. Good job sliding to the right on the knees for Eric Bajani. Borgonio's first home run of the year has been followed by a flyout to left to end the fourth, a strikeout swinging to begin the sixth. He wrapped up the four-batter seventh on a 4-6-3 twin killing. Runner goes, ground ball hit right to the second baseman. Williams as it sneaks underneath the glove into center field. Go-ahead run's going to advance from second to third. Borgonio hit that one right to Darian Williams. Aaron Collins goes from first to third. Double play still active up the middle with Ryan Stafford due up. The leadoff hitter will watch as Eric Bajani goes out with a series of signs for the infielders, letting them know what to do if Borgonio takes off. Very likely going to let him take second base because the runner on third, Aaron Collins, is the only one that really matters. First pitch from Simon, a big swing and a miss as Stafford was trying to jump on a fastball. He was sitting dead red. 4 for 5 is the leadoff batter. He's singled twice, doubled, and homered. Swings and fouls this one into his own dugout down the third base line. Borgonio reaches on an error by Darian Williams. Second defensive misplay for UNLV. Stafford goes down, reaches, and can't connect. Big time second out on this strikeout swinging for Simon.
The shortstop, Brooks Lee.
And if you're Cal Poly, this is the guy you want up here in the top of the ninth inning. And with that in mind, Stan Stolte, that's Corey Vanderhook rather, the pitching coach, is going to head out and meet with the entirety of the infield. Nobody warming up in the UNLV bullpen down the right field line, so this one's strictly strategic. Here's the scene. It's Brooks Lee batting. He homered on the first pitch he saw in the eighth inning. Likely the top player that UNLV will play against all season. Legendary head coach's son due up with the go-ahead run on third, with runners on first and third, and 2 outs here in the top half of the ninth inning in a 10-10 ball game. There have been 31 combined hits, 20 combined runs, and 4 combined errors defensively. This one a stat sheet filler. As they're going to intentionally walk Brooks Lee. Figured that might be the case. Lee walked intentionally for the second time in the game. Second intentional walk of the day, third of the series, the 8th of the year for Lee. They're going to load the bases. It's going to be up to Tate Samuelson to try to do something. Samuelson watches all the way on a first pitch inside, called for a ball.
Mustang batter is Tate Samuelson, the third baseman.
Samuelson with 2 extra base hits, 2 flyouts, and a ground out into a double play to end the third. He's ahead 1-0. Simon deals. Ground ball pulled, fouled on the third base side. It was funny to watch the almost immediate reaction from a number of the scouts as soon as Brooks Lee was intentionally walked to first. They wanted to see that one more at bat. They don't get it, and they're out of here. It's windy. 1-1 pitch, popped up, fouled on the right field side. This one's going to drift out of the field of play and into the UNLV bullpen. Nobody warming up as of now, but Ty Pullman loosening the rest of his body. Not quite throwing, but stretching out there is Pullman. The count 1-2 to Samuelson. Simon trying to strand a trio of runners on in the ninth. 1-2 pitch, chopped back up the middle. Nobody's going to get it as a Darian Williams dives. 1 run's going to score. The throw back to second base as the second run touches it up. And Cal Poly jumps on top 12-10 here in the top of the ninth inning on a Tate Samuelson holy roller up the middle. Marin Collins and Borgonio touching it up. And Cal Poly retakes another lead. Runs in 5 of the 9 innings as this game has swung back to the visitors with Joe York standing in from the left side. Big swing and a miss for the big-bodied first baseman as he falls behind 0-1. York has walked twice, singled and doubled, along with a strikeout in the 6th. A lot of balls put in play here by Cal Poly this afternoon. 8 total strikeouts. We're in the top of the 9th inning. They lead 12-10 as Simon gets a called strike. Nicely spotted breaking pitch outside from the left-handed batter. York is the 7th batter here in the 9th inning. 2 strikeouts and 2 hits. Simon misses away. Bajani tried to frame it back in. An error, an intentional walk to Lee, and 2 singles. How the 2 runs have scored in the inning. As York goes the other way, a fair ball shot all the way into the left field corner for extra bases. 1 run's going to score. Samuelson gets the wave around third. He'll score without a throw. A 14-10 lead in the top of the 9th as Joe York celebrates with his 2nd double of the game. That's about the 4th double in the game that's gone to that exact same spot. Number of Cal Poly batters just sneaking it between Alarcon and the foul line. He doesn't play especially far away from the foul line either. They're around early, and in that case, York late on the fastballs. As this first pitch is swung on and driven to left by Lopez, that'll get all the way to the wall and score York from second easily. On yet another double here in the 9th inning, it is a 15-10 lead with 5 runs across in the inning for Cal Poly with 2 down. The wheels falling off on the back end of the bullpen here for the Rebels in the 8th and the 9th inning. 8 runs scoring in the last inning in 2/3 alone. Colin Villegas stands in with the runner on second base and Matt Lopez. Villegas, only batter who has not come to bat yet here in the 9th inning. Ty Pullman starts to loosen up in the right field bullpen. Simon goes inside for a called strike to Villegas. 2 doubles in his 5 at-bats. This one got out of hand in a hurry, a 5 spot in the 9th. This foul ball tipped straight back, held within the field of play via the top of the screen. And the count quickly 0-2 to Villegas. Struck out looking against Beal to wrap up, or Simon rather, to wrap up the 8th inning. He's ahead 0-2, trying to limit the damage in the 9th. Gets a ground ball, pulled foul down the third base side. Nice grab made on a hop by a member of the Cal Poly dugout. Rebels will send the bottom third of their lineup to the plate in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Eric Bajani to lead it off. They're going to need at least 5 to extend the game. Pitch called down and in on a changeup from Simon. Ball and 2 strikes, the count to the number 7 batter, Villegas. 15 runs on 20 hits for Cal Poly, 10 on 14 for UNLV. Both sides have committed 2 errors. 1-2 pitch, high and outside, checking the swing and able to hold up is Villegas. Count all square at 2. Simon delivers. Pitch swung on and missed. 5 runs on 4 hits, an error, and an intentional walk. Put Cal Poly on top by 5 entering the bottom of the 9th inning. It'll be Eric Bajani to lead things off. The Rebels need 5 to tie, 6 to walk it off and win for the 2nd straight day. Don't go anywhere. We'll see if they can do it when we return for the bottom of the 9th inning. It all comes down to this here in the bottom of the ninth inning.
Eric
Rebels
Bajani.
trailing 15-10. 5 runs, only 4 of them, or 1 of them earned, I should say, on 4 hits. Scoring in the top of the ninth for the Mustangs. It's Jason Franks back out there trying to supplant himself into a winning position, with Eric Bajani leading things off as he takes a pitch outside, called for ball 1. Bajani, 1 of 3 with a homer and a walk so far this afternoon. Fastball over the outer third, called for a strike to even it up against Eric Bajani. Sam Simon came in and worked through 2 innings. So far has allowed 6 runs on just 5 hits. The 1-1 to Bajani. Swung on, hit straight back to the screen to move the count. The ball and 2 strikes. Bajani followed by Pfeiffer, and then Jordan Andrade, who came in as a pinch hitter in the 7th. The first 3 batters due up in the lineup for UNLV. See if they can make a big-time comeback like they did yesterday. Plated runs in the 8th, 9th, and then 3 in the 10th yesterday. Bajani pops it up right side and foul ground. The first baseman, York, has the sunglasses on, lunges back in the first base coaching box to make the catch and retire Bajani for the first out of the 9th inning. So far, so good for Franks and the Mustangs here in the 9th inning.
Austin Pfeiffer.
Austin Pfeiffer's 0 for 3 with the walk so far. Took a base on balls as part of the 10-batter 7th inning, which UNLV did the majority of their legwork. Foul tip straight back into the mid here. Will bring the count 0-1. The Rebels scored 6 of their 10 runs in the 7th inning. Scored 1 in the first on a Joey Walls single. Eric Bajani led off the second with his 3rd home run of the year. As Pfeiffer drives this one well to center. Heading back is Borgonio. He's at the track, at the wall. This one is gone. Austin Pfeiffer with his first long ball of the year brings the Rebels back within 4 here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Diamondback land surveying home run for Austin Pfeiffer that barely cleared the center field fence. That one had plenty of pop off the bat. There have been a couple wind-aided home runs today, that likely not one of them. So 1 out and 1 run on the board here in the bottom of the 9th after the home run by Austin Pfeiffer.
The shortstop, Jordan
That'll bring up Jordan Andrade for his 2nd plate appearance. Watching all the way on a first pitch fastball called for a strike at the knees. Andrade doubled home a pair of runs in a pinch hit appearance in the 7th, coming in after Gianni Horvat ended his day 0 for 3. Jason Franks works out of the stretch. 0-1 pitch missing high to even it up. For Franks, that's the first home run that he's allowed on the year. Hasn't had a ton of opportunities. Andrade laid around on the fastball. The count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes to the Rebel shortstop. Rylan Charles awaiting on deck. He'll get in that bat in the bottom of the 9th inning. With 1 out and nobody on. It's the 1-2 pitch upcoming to Andrade. Franks delivers. Reaching outside the zone, swinging and missing at strike 3 is Andrade. He's now 1 of 2 in his limited at-bats, and with that, the Rebels, with their backs up against the wall, down to their final out here in the 9th inning.
Center fielder, Rylan Charles.
Rylan Charles needs to reach to extend the game. He singled home a run on a line drive to right in his most recent at-bat in the 7th. Otherwise, he's been held in check and off the bases. Watching all the way in, a first pitch fastball high from Franks. Franks 1 out away from earning his 2nd win of the year. Sam Simon would drop to 0-1. Charles takes a fastball high inside, called for a strike to even it at a ball and a strike. Charles struck out looking in the 1st, popped out to 1st in the 2nd, grounded out to 3rd in the 5th. First ball that left the infield form was on a fly out to center field in the 6th inning. Watching all the way on a 1-1 pitch that Villegas tried to frame back inside the strike zone, but oftentimes if the catcher moves the glove too much, umpire obviously is going to know that they're trying to bring it back within the strike zone. Franks misses high, and the count goes 3-1. Don't want to count him out just yet, but tomorrow our series finale starts at 12:05 here on the West Coast with 2 pitchers TBD for both sides. Could be a Johnny Holstaff day with a lot of bullpen arms used. Here's the 3-1 to Charles. Gets the fastball. It's down and out. Called for ball 4. Charles reaching for the second time in his last 2 plate appearances. And that'll bring up Austin Krizik with his chance to extend the game.
Left fielder, Austin Krizik.
He can't hit a 4-run home run with 1 man on base, so Austin Krizik's going to need to do what he's been doing all day. 4 of 5 is the left fielder with 3 singles and a double. He's scored 3 of the 11 UNLV runs. Alarcon and Pfeiffer have scored twice each. Pfeiffer did it this half inning on a home run. Charles breaks for second on a called strike. He'll be given it on defensive interference. No stolen base for Ryland Charles. Down 4 with 1 out left to get. Cal Poly's going to let him take second 11 times out of 10 there. Krizik stands close to the plate with no batting gloves on. He'll lean away from a fastball called for a strike a bit above the letters. Frank's the 3rd pitcher used by Larry Lee and Cal Poly. Starter Travis Weston went 5 innings and struck out 10 in a no decision. 1-1 to Kriz, swung on and missed, and with that the Rebels down to their final strike here with the 1-2 count to their left fielder and 2 outs. Down by 4 in the bottom of the 9th inning. If Krizik can find a way on, dangerous Diego Alarcon awaits on deck. Here's the 1-2 from the right-hander Jason Franks. Krizik takes a called strike 3 on the inside corner, and Cal Poly able to put the finishing touches on a 15-10 win as they even up the series at a game apiece. Overall, 35 hits and 26 runs scored. UNLV in a 15-11 loss.
Game with the final score.
Able to put 11 runs on the board on 15 hits. Both sides made 2 errors. Rebels left 9 runners on base. They could have done a little bit more damage. Cal Poly with the winning line score, 15 runs on 20 hits with a couple of errors mixed in there as well. They only left 7 men on. It'll be Jason Franks with the win. Franks moves to 2-1 after tossing 2 1/3 innings. Gave up 1 run on the Austin Pfeiffer home run, one of the 2 hits that the right-hander allowed, while he struck out 4 and walked 1. A 3-hour and 3-minute ball game wraps up with the Rebels falling back to 500. They move to 5-5 on the year as Cal Poly advances up to 5-5. Both sides split down the middle through 10 games of the year. Again, Cal Poly 15 runs on 20 hits with 2 errors and 7 men left on base. UNLV 11 runs on 15 hits, a matching 2 errors with 9 men left on base. Jason Franks tossing 2/3 of an inning, earning the 2nd win of the year. Right-hander out of the pen moves to 2-1. Sam Simon drops to 0-1. Simon allowed 6 runs, only 1 of them earned, though, on 5 hits over 2 innings of work. Simon falls to 0-1. We played a 15-11 ball game in just over 3 hours and 3 minutes here on a Saturday afternoon in front of 403 people here at Earl E. Wilson Stadium. We'll be back at you tomorrow afternoon for the final game of a 3-game set. It's the 3rd game of 5 in a row for UNLV, so the marathon continues in the series finale. It'll be the rubber match of a 3-game series as the Rebels take on Cal Poly tomorrow at 12:05, 12 noon on the first pitch. For everyone here at UNLV, I'm Matt Everett saying thank you for tuning in. Rebels fall 15-11 today to even up the series against Cal Poly. Back at it tomorrow again, 12:05 the first pitch, 12 noon the pregame show right here at Earl E. Wilson Stadium. I'm Matt Everett saying thank you for tuning in. Back at you tomorrow.